We just went live. Welcome everybody to Kyrios New Dawn. It's the next installment of the Kyrios story, kind of operating a little bit as a new campaign, but picking up with a lot of the same
Woo!
characters. Yeah, woo! Sad excuse for a hooray. What's that, Monty Python? And there was much rejoicing. Yay!
Yay!
um, awesome. Let's kick off with a little prologue instead of a recap from last session or last campaign. We'll kind of pick up with a little bit of a new story, starting with our champions returning to the realm of Kyrios. Their time at the fountain saw a friend restored, a captain become a protector, and a goblin find a home. Their journey had been long and fraught with dangers, and starting as a much larger group all those months ago in the town of Midport, along the way, friends were lost, enemies were made, and titans, great abyssal beasts, had been released upon the world of mortals. And at the cost of much, one enemy stood out above the rest, this blood witch named Morrigan. She was terrible and powerful, and she sought to see the world destroyed and the would-be champions destroyed, though, as fate would have it, the world would venture on. Returning from the fountain back to Kyrios, however, our Aeon-born, as we once referred to them as, they found much had changed. Due to the strangeness of the rifts across the plains, their trip to the fountain had cost them much. 5 months and 27 days had passed since the Gilded Pride went through the storm at the Devil's Pass. And then when returned to the mortal plane, they learned of a dark and sinister power that was now spreading across the world. In their absence, the Blood Mage had wreaked havoc on the land, her 4 simulacra spreading far and wide and bent on bringing about a new world made in her image and vision. Dark magics, twisted horrors, born from the abyss itself, took root wherever she or her simulacra went, and those who would stand against at the time proved to be few. The night of blood and flame, the night where the great nightmare dragon attacked the Aeolian skyship, the night where the Emerald Enclave was undone, was the turning point in what would be a war on humanity. The mage had raged and wrought her destruction upon the only order who at that time had shown to stand against her, and thus they were ended. On returning, the party found that the Wayfinder's guide they had and the pendant to the Enclave didn't work. They had no way of reaching who they once might have considered allies. So they believed the Enclave was gone. The mage's power was great and growing, and her threat ever looming. And so our Aeon-born returned to the world where they had lost allies, and life seemed to all be but for naught, and thus they decided to part ways. Their final goodbyes would be made in the town they once visited, the island town of Farangul. And so our champions return to the realm of Kyrios. Pause. Scratch that. This is the literal thing that I just read. It's in here twice. From the island. Here we go. From the island, Leon and Himothy set sail along the remaining Farangulian merchants aboard the Gilded Pride. Their destination was Ilpathia. As a newly established Crimson Guard blockade had severed all trade routes with Sarsia, both the merchants and the reavers accompanied them, and upon reaching Ilpathia, the Gilded Pride was gifted to the Farangulians as repayment for their assistance months ago, and to compensate for the loss of their ruined ship, the Dream Diver. Once ashore, the reavers scattered into the city, eager to find a new ship and a new crew, while Tundra, Leon, and Himothy ventured inland. As they reached the sweeping plainlands of Ilpathia, the two friends parted ways, sharing a heartfelt farewell with the promise that their paths would soon cross again. Leon ventured north to the city of Elysia, a dazzling metropolis renowned for its silver and glass architecture and its flourishing community of scholars and arcanists. There, he spent several weeks immersed in the grand libraries, conversing with the learned minds of those who lived there. He searched tirelessly for any knowledge of the city that he once lived in, Colossia, or for the Aeon Crest shards, any news of them. Despite his efforts, however, his quest yielded little more than fragments of half-forgotten lore. Then, after exhausting what resources he could spare, Leon and Tundra turned their path southward, aiming for the eastern coast of Starcia. Their ultimate destination was Leon's home temple on Tetrois, but along the way, they planned for a brief stopover in Emberthrone. Leon, what were you up to in Emberthrone?
Okay. Well, Leon arrives to Ember Throne like immediately after. I mean, do you want? do you
Yeah,
want to go over what
absolutely.
happened
What
in Ember
what did
Throne?
he learn? Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Leon arrives to Ember Throne, finding out about an attack. There was um an attack on the city. It sounded like it was, when by the time he talked to the various members of the temple, by the time he talked to, uh, so he originally he finds out that there was a battle, there was some destruction. He finds out that there was a blood dragon involved. So of course he starts asking around because this is a site he has seen before. He goes to the temple. He asks around the temple. He finds out that a little bit before he arrived in Ember Throne, there was a um some sort of a battle that took place. This dragon appeared. There was also some other, like monsters that appeared. The town of itself was successfully defended. Uh, there is some rebuilding efforts. There's some areas that were destroyed, but generally the attack was rebuffed. Um, so Leon kind of spent some time helping there. He got to know. Well, I don't know. Do we go into this? Do we continue?
Yeah, by all means. I'll fill in
Okay.
gaps.
Okay. Leon got to know some of the people who had, so through his connections with the temple and helping out, he decided to find the people who helped defend the town. He found out that these were the paragons, who were um, the remnants of, I guess, what the Emerald Enclave was in the area. Um, so I guess he kind of worked together with them a little bit to help rebuild the town to the best that he was able, I suppose.
Yeah, provided resources, some of the gold that he had left over. He had sold off some of his goods.
Yeah, selfless man that Leon is. Good church-going man. The good of the many outweighing the needs of the few. Donated all of his material possessions to the poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, in the process, learned of the Paragons, these people who had stayed behind, who had been instrumental in this fight that happened at Emberthrone, where a group of Crimson Guard had assaulted the city, and like Vol said, like Leon is recounting, this nightmarish dragon had assaulted the city, but to no avail. Um, in those rebuilding efforts, Tundra at that point decides to offer his service to the Paragons and go with the Paragons in hopes of both exploring the world a bit more and also being a resource for them in this time of trying to recruit and bolster and learning that there is now this, for lack of better phrasing, resistance group in the Paragons who stood up against this growing corruption. And so, after meeting the Paragons and learning of the Enclave's rebirth in this new resistance, Tundra journeyed with them while Leon pressed onward towards the Temple of Tetrois. And the months that followed were spent immersed in the temple's archives. He pored over ancient texts and forgotten records and tirelessly sought any clue again for the city of Colossia. Or anything even about the mysterious Aegis device. Leon, what did you learn in that time?
Um, Okay, so Leon's he spent quite a bit of time over this period. Like he got to Tetroas, I think it was a few months.
Hmm.
He spent some time in Ember Throne there, but he spent the majority of the time between here on Tetroas learning. He's still very specific looking for Colossia, the giant ancient continental sized city that he was once the prince of,
Hmm.
that was destroyed in the ancient apocalypse. He found out that the city is somewhere generally to the north, and he thinks somewhere close to like this kind of. Do I have the yeah this island chain? I think like
Hmm.
somewhere in this general vicinity over here. It's also underwater, but he already knew that.
Yeah.
Um, he's also been just kind of poring over text, just general lore, history, religion. He's kind of studying as much as he can. I mean, this is a guy who, I guess I guess Zach doesn't, sorry, Dave doesn't quite know his background, but for the previous party members, like this is a guy who literally appeared on this continent before he began an adventure and has now gone back to the temple of his original spot, which also happens to be like the largest library in the world, right? So he is pouring himself into knowledge. He's trying to learn as much as he can, just about specifically how he's gonna continue on his mission to save the world.
Yeah. Himothy. In Elpathia, he headed to Tarios, at first in hopes of reconnecting with Yolona, but also to learn any news about his brother. He saw for himself very briefly his stepmother's control over the city, and gathered what news he could of Calamir, his brother. But again, no signs of Yolona were found, and little was known about the fate of his brother in these times. Knowing there wasn't much he could do alone, he moved on across the forest and plains of Ilpathia in search of fragments for Elantari, or anything else he might uncover. Himothy, what did you get up to in this time?
So, after trying and looking for hints of who my mother could have been and my past, trying but failing at being able to discover anything related to that, kind of half giving up, I went back to Elysium trying to find Leon. Asked around the city, heard some rumors of this very light blonde human, in a city full of elves. So obviously he stood out, but turns out I missed him by a little while. Ended up coming across a scholar who might possibly have had a lead on my mother and her history. Um, Turns out it was about halfway across the continent, so Himothy journeyed with that scholar. And coming across some of her corruption along the way, kind of learned that she has to be physically present in order to spread her corruption. Eventually, we came across this palace and seeing a very clear border between Morgan's influence and where she wasn't able to pass, kind of learned that maybe there are some means of holding her back and keeping her at bay. As Timothy and the scholar ventured through this palace, we realized it was probably brought here by the Convergence. And as we worked our way deeper into this chamber, we saw on a pedestal a shard of Elantari. And after proving his worth to this celestial being, Himothy was able to reunite another lost shard and quickly left that place with the scholar and escorted him back to Elysium. Since he had some more free time on his hands, he decided to journey to some of the larger cities in hopes that maybe there'd be some resources there that would let him learn about his mother. Ended up in this more inland agricultural city. And as he was in the tavern, having his drinks as he does, came across some Crimson Guard officers and decided, let's eavesdrop on what they have to say. Ended up learning that they refer to Morgan as the Scarlet Emissary, that she holds court with Moncrave and Rahl and gives him counsel and direction. She's supposed to be heading to Yarma in the near future, so they're ahead and scouting all the continents across the globe other than Sarsia. It turns out that she might have been on Alpathia, but had left, and that's why there aren't so many forces in this particular city. And they were discussing how the dragon scouts ahead. As Himbo was eavesdropping on these officers, he came across some others who appeared to be doing the same. And after mentioning his time with the Enclave, they revealed that they were part of the Paragons and that there was the reformed Enclave. Not having many allies in Ilpathia, having seen Leon go off on his own adventures, Timothy joined with these two and worked with them until it was discovered that Timothy's actually alive after all of this time, after all of the time skip. And at that point, the Paragons raised the call to bring back the Ironborn.
Yes, on a path that would once again lead him to a rebuilt now Aeolian. Tinka, our gnome friend, chose to remain on the island. The only one of the Aeonborn to do so, staying in Farangul. In the weeks following her return, she learned of the island's near collapse in their absence. A devastating pestilence had ravaged the crops, claiming the lives of many of the beast folk. With too little wealth to sustain trade and the Crimson Guard enforcing an embargo on goods outside of their control, the island had teetered on the brink of ruin. Yet, even in the face of such hardship, there were survivors who persevered. Kira, Lucilla, and her brother Joe, Val, Nessa, Simon and Molly, the young children you had found on your earlier journey. They had fought valiantly to survive, and rejoiced in seeing their friends return. Though tragically, others were not so fortunate. Drusilla, Lucilla's twin, the third sibling, along with August, the shipwright, and Gent, and many of the others in the town had been lost to the island's struggles. In the months that followed, Tinka settled on the island, deciding alongside Viz that their skills were needed most here to help rebuild. Together with the resilient townsfolk, they constructed a modest cottage near the tavern and the twins' workshop, a workshop that seemed a bit emptier since the passing of Drusilla. And in her absence, Tinka dedicated herself to aiding Lucilla and the community, using seeds brought back from the continent of Luz to cultivate new crops and restore the island's sustenance, and proving to be a welcome friend in the midst of such grief. Throughout this time, Tinka kept something unique. Bridget, what would that be?
Yeah, so, there was that egg. You remember that egg, guys?
I remember the
I
egg.
remember
What
the
was
egg.
the egg? What happened?
Yeah.
What's in the
what
So
box?
they had a
the egg?
big breakfast. They made
Oh.
breakfast for the whole town. They just made a big scramble.
Best omelet ever.
Super great
Yeah,
omelet.
no,
They
so
make it with bacon?
Oh god,
No.
they're beast folk.
Okay, is there pig folk?
Probably.
Note to DM, we need some pig folk,
Yeah,
please.
I'll make some pig folk.
Hell yeah, dude. Name him Hogger. All right, back to business. So yeah, they kept the egg. They felt something alive in it. They didn't necessarily know what was in the egg. But as Tinka and Viz focused on helping rebuild the island, and the egg, it was kept on Viz for the majority of the time. Tinka was busy. Viz was a little less busy. And then one day, it started to crack open. And, Brie, can you show us what was in that egg? Little Tinka Viz wish baby. And her name is Talisa. And she's the next dragon. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, the egg hatched, and from within emerged this cooing child, her ochre-toned skin gleaming in the soft morning light, flecks of burnt umber scales traced delicate patterns across her body, and cascading long, curly auburn hair. She was breathtaking and beautiful, a wonder to behold. The islanders all gathered, their expressions filled with awe and joy as Tinka and Viz welcomed this miraculous new life into the world. They called her Talisa. She was the first Dragonborn. So Tinka, over the next few months, what did you all do?
well, so she's Talisa, the first of her kind, because I just decided that and it
Sure.
sounds incredible. But yeah, there was a very heavy stance on like agriculture, getting a strong foundation of this is what we need to establish first to ensure the survival of all of us. We then worked with like specialized training things. So having people work with Joe. Joe survived, right? The blacksmith?
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, having like apprentices for Joe so we can focus on getting things to export in, gaining skilled labor, and putting people to work that didn't have much to do. And it really was just investing the time that we had with Talisa and the time that we could put into making sure this community never goes through what it had gone through before.
And the months spent paid off. What was once an island on the brink, now, months later, almost a year later, stands fortified again. Their life had returned, for the most part. The successes of Tinka and Viz and their influence brought about enough change on the island to be mostly self-sustaining for once. The additional goods, and along with working with Lucilla and ingenuity of tinkering, were able to help create some magical greenhouse environments that would prevent the type of pestilence from ever occurring again, or at least so they would hope.
Also, sorry, I think that they would have worked on a memorial, like a monument.
Mm-hmm. Sure, absolutely. What would that look like?
I think we would put it because the shipwright passed. I think we would put it where he lived, and let's say that he had like a half-built ship, right? Like a skeleton of a ship.
Sure.
We just run it ashore, make it a permanent feature, and then put carvings or use the artificer tools to have a recording that just has like their names or their pictures or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Combination of the ship and some minor illusion enchantment to be a long-standing monument to those who were lost.
Perfect.
The world seems darker now. You feel it in the wind. You see it in shadows. You hear it in silence, where life once thrived. "13 months have passed since the return of the champions. And in that time, the light of hope has grown faint. Crimson Guard have surged eastward, their banners now casting shadows far beyond the borders of Sarsia. Their navy prowls the seas, a relentless force choking trade and isolating nations. Yet, even their iron grip pales in comparison to the shadow cast by the Blood Mage Morrigan. Her simulacra, these twisted reflections of her own malice, have spread a dark corruption across all the continents. Black and crimson magic, a blight upon the land, festers in the soil and water and the hearts of creatures once pure. Forests wither, rivers turn to poison, and nightmares walk on the waking world. In this age of despair, one light flickers in defiance. The Paragons of the Last Dawn, born from the ashes of the Emerald Enclave, stand as a final bastion against the tide of ruin. These warriors and seekers raise their voice in a clarion call to all free people of the earth, urging them to stand and to fight. But as Morgan's influence spread, the Paragons find themselves waging war on too many fronts. The corruption mutates, her dark forces adapt, and the victories won feel fleeting against the weight of the oncoming storm. The peoples of the world grow weary, and whispers of surrender ripple through the lands. Amidst the encroaching shadow, a desperate question lingers. Where are the Aeonborn? The heroes who once challenged Morrigan and fate itself. Scattered across the world, their paths have diverged, their bonds stained by time and distance. Yet the world itself seems to conspire to bring them back together. Until one night, a vision shared in dreams across continents is seen. Chains, vast, ancient, unbreakable, shatter with deafening cracks, each link splintering into nothingness. The sound reverberates through the cosmos, and the shards of the chains spiral away, consumed by the void. A blazing city rises from the heart of the abyss, its architecture grotesque and alien, illuminated by an unnatural searing light. The city is aflame, but the fire does not consume. It twists, writhes, and grows, as though alive, feeding on the very fabric of existence. The air is thick with the wails of the damned, the cries of countless souls trapped in eternal torment. At the city center, a figure looms. Morrigan. She stands tall, radiant, and terrible, her presence an embodiment of limitless, unholy power. Her eyes burn like twin stars, and her form pulses with raw, chaotic energy that distorts reality around her. No longer mortal, but something greater, something infinitely worse. Above her, beyond her, the void itself convulses. Worlds, entire realms of existence begin to fall away, crumbling into the abyss like grains of sand swept by some invisible tide. The stars dim and die as an unimaginable force devours all light, all hope. And then, from the blackened expanse, it emerges, a creature of incomprehensible scale, a planet-sized entity, its form a writhing mass of shadows and malice. The Great Chained One, its essence pure destruction and corruption. It towers over all. Its presence alone bends the laws of reality, and its endless abyssal eyes pierce through all that behold it. The creature leans forward, its many tendrils and claws stretching into Morrigan, not to destroy her, but to empower her.
That's not good.
Darkness pours from it in torrents, endless rivers of malevolence that surge into her, through her, and beyond her. The energy becomes her, amplifying her, twisting her into something unspeakable. The air trembles with her laughter, mad, triumphant, and filled with the promise of annihilation. Then the vision fades. The Unborn's return is not a matter of choice, it would seem, but of destiny. For only together can they face the darkness that seeks to swallow the whole world. And that's where we start. Tinka, Leon, Himothy, you've all been brought back aboard the Aeolian skyship. It's the mobile operating base of the once Enclave, now Paragons. It's taken a few weeks after this vision to have everyone all assemble here, and Tinka, you're the last to arrive. You're told when you do arrive that there will be a meeting in roughly an hour, but to go ahead and get settled in. You're shown to a shared bunking cabin in the lower decks, a similar location that you were once in, though this mostly has been reborn or rebuilt, so much here is new. When you reach the bunk, you see Himothy and Leon with one other inside. The other figure stands a bit taller than you and wears similar traveling gear. And the three are discussing the possible reason for an upcoming meeting, or what the upcoming meeting might be about. All they've been told is it's regarding important news. Timothy and Leon, you've been here for a few days, and so you've already become acquainted with this new person, a bunkie. Certainly a bunkie, but also someone for whom the Paragons have introduced merely as an asset. Dave, would you like to introduce us to your character?
Gladly. It'll be fun to reintroduce him to you three through new eyes. So
Well, Bridget doesn't know anything about this, so.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Bridget just knows emo
What you're
Crowboy.
talking about? I've never met this character
yeah,
before.
no, we're all complete strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at a glance, you might think if you're looking at him from the back, it's just another humanoid with maybe black hair. But I think as Sack hears another person coming into the room, I think he'll turn and you see the visage of a crow, essentially in enlarged humanoid form. Something that may be foreign, as more beast-like folks are not as common. He stands probably 5'7", 5'8", slender, still having bird-like physique in humanoid size, with a pretty ornate-looking cloak on, over a set of half plate, and a rifle is slung over the bunk nearby, and he has a pistol in his belt, and you get a sense he may not be necessarily a frontline fighter, but maybe someone a little squirrely, and a little more useful in the back line, as you get a look at his equipment and his demeanor. And I think he'll turn and give a welcoming nod and wait to be addressed.
The nod to Tinka.
Yes.
All right, Tinka, living with these folk, will think nothing out of the ordinary, and will just put out a hand to shake it. Does he have a hand?
He does.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Five digits. I imagine, with the new rules that they really opened up character creation. I imagine he's got like humanoid digits with, like, instead of regular nails, like slightly extended, like talons in nail form. So yeah, he'll shake it and introduce himself. Hello, my name is Sack. I heard we were having another coming in. Who might you be?
Tinka Tonks. Nice to meet you. I really hope you survive this. I have a lot of people that would love to meet you.
Oh yeah, I mean, likewise. I would hope to survive all this too. Ember Throne was what a doozy, but seems like we're in for more.
Isn't Tinka from Ember Throne?
You are. You probably don't understand the reference he's making, though.
What happened in Ember Throne?
I think he pauses for a second, and as much as a bird folk can cock an eyebrow, he does. Assuming that anyone here would have at least been up to date on the events. The dragon, the Crimson Guard, onslaught, the beasts ripping themselves from the ground. All of that. We're a year past that, correct, DM?
Probably 8 or 9 months past, but it's been
Okay.
a while. Yeah.
Yeah. A few seasons ago. You're up to date on that, right?
Yes, that. How could I forget?
Yeah, real blood-curdling screams, blood-red moon, nightmare fuel, really.
Tinka's gonna dart a look to both Timothy and Leon, saying, like insinuating you couldn't have fucking written or something.
We've been busy.
Leon's gonna raise an eyebrow like he didn't realize the onus was on him.
It's fine. It's fine.
How's Viz?
He's good. He's got a big job at home.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Tinka's gonna be typical mother and pull out small drawings of Talisa like that, and take a look at my grandchildren.
Oh yeah, Leon's gonna do like typical uncle like cooing then at the pictures, like ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that one? Is that is that one these first steps?
So yeah, they have a little moment of going through all the baby stuff, and then I think Zach would realize all of these have beast folk in the background.
Yeah, being from a communal group, I think he picks up on it quickly and just nods. Oh yeah, no, very very handsome, dashing even at like some very bestial folk that he has no idea if that's actually a compliment.
I wasted the nat 20, but Himothy, looking at the photos, actually notices and pays attention to everything going on in it.
Amazing.
For once, he
Yeah.
actually is like in tune with stuff that's going on around him.
Timothy notices
Just
who
follow
has
your
horns.
role. None of us. Good job. And so I feel like they catch up because it's been months.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
just Biz isn't going to be coming with us. He needs to stay home with her. She is the first of her kind. She is the first dragonborn. She was in that egg. You remember that egg?
Oh
Yeah,
the
yeah.
egg.
Absolutely.
I think something sent her to us. I think she plays a big key in this, but we need him to keep her safe.
And I mean, honestly, given that everything that Viz has gone through so far, he deserves his time to relax and recuperate. And, if caring for, this child, this infant is what's important and what's needed of him, then that's what we need to accept.
Yeah, and I think Leon will point out like we've always known this is like a war of attrition, and more even more than it is just like an individual battle. Like we need all the allies we can, and if this ends up being like something we need in the end, like we need people to devote time to doing that, right? So
I am excited for all of you to meet her.
I think
At some
Zach
point.
confusingly is kind of in the background, like what's a dragonborn? What's the first of what kind?
Tinka brings out the pictures again and just points.
Oh,
Half dragon,
She has
Half-
scales.
oh,
half gnome, all from egg. No sex.
interesting.
Timothy's
Yeah.
actually aware enough to know that
You
it's not just an ordinary human.
how much does Zach know about the party that he's joining? Question
Yeah,
mark.
that's a
Nice.
curiosity
Oh, right.
I have too.
I have a partner that's a dragon.
That would be
You'll
his.
meet him. He's home with the baby.
Zach just looks at Tinka and then thinks about a dragon, and then resigns himself from saying anything else and just nods. Okay.
Tinka brings out more pictures. One of Viz in dragon form, one is in Viz as human form. We've really been investing in the arts on the island.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, yep, I see it now. Yeah. Okay.
And now they have a last time on, what is this place called? Last time on Dungeons and Dragons moment where she just gives him like, we found a dragon, we saved a dragon, dragon got sick, we saved the dragon again, now he's home.
Not the same
Uh,
dragon that
and-
was here in Emberthrone, right?
No,
Assuming
different
that was
dragon.
the blood mage, different dragon. Oh yeah, I remember everything. I was there. She gives him another freaking look.
Yeah, well, as far as I remember reading in all my years and now having seen one, there really aren't any left. So I'm hearing about a second dragon inside of, a year. That's, a couple questions. But okay, good to know.
Yeah, no, at least as
No,
far as
ask
we
the
can tell, good dragon, bad dragon, we're friends with the good one, and we gotta fight the bad one.
And
I hear the bad
now-
dragons fight back.
And now we bring a new race. We
Mhm.
hope to bring dragons. We might be past the time of bringing full-blooded dragons back, but we wanna restore as much as we can and embrace it.
Yeah. I donated to one of those conservation efforts a couple months ago. It seemed
How
like
much did you donate?
like 10 gold. It seemed like forlorn hope, but I had a
I
few.
can't wait
had
for
a
you
few
to meet our
jingling.
friend. You're
Save
gonna
the
fit really
dragons.
well.
Yeah. They're relentless now. They keep sending me mail.
That's canon now. Now,
100%.
Britt. Every
Yeah.
time we go to a random town, there's a little kid with a bell, like money for dragon.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
Salvation Army for Save the Dragons.
That's exactly
I'll
what I
come
was
up with a
thinking.
charity name for it.
Perfect.
The Scalevation army. There you go.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice.
Scalevation army. I love it.
New allies for the end of the season.
Yeah, sure.
Just a bunch of kids running
Does
into
Viz
battle.
ever get the money?
I think the Scalevation army is probably a group of people who they know dragons at one time existed. They know that there was probably good dragons and bad dragons, and because no dragons have been seen probably in the entire lifetime of anybody except for the recent nightmare dragons, like the Scalevation army is like slowly becoming afraid of what they originally represented.
Oh, because the bad dragon.
Because they only know
The
about
funny
bad
thing
dragon.
is, I see TC as the head of the Scalevation army, just being his greedy monopoly self, taking like the big charity pharma money. Just
yeah, that's
Oh,
totally
it's
what
all
it is.
it's all a front. The whole thing is just to funnel it to like one specific person in this world of Kyrios somewhere.
You've just made that
Love that.
canon.
And he's like-
yes.
he's like a lizard man. He's not dragon. He's just part lizard.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
Oh,
they're my
he's
Closest
cousins.
they know.
He's convinced the people that he is a dragon.
Yeah, my great uncle was a dragon.
I want at the end of this like catch up session where Tinka is catching up Zach. I have a feeling that despite the fact that Leon and Zach have presumably known each other for a few days, he's gonna say one other thing you kind of need to know, another somewhat unique thing with us.
Mhm.
And then he's going to unveil his celestial revelation form. He's going to I guess in character here. So Leon, you've seen before, just a man in a chest plate with a cloak, and basically as he reveals these angelic wings begin to sprout from his shoulders. He takes flight. He can presumably it's somewhere he can take off a little bit. Just the same as yourself. Being a raven or whatever crow person.
Oh, you're a bird.
I think as he's going through that explanation, Sack sits patiently and goes, "Yeah, so not all of us can fly. Eric Kokra, those are the ones with wings." And Sack turns and like takes his cloak off, and there's absolutely no cutouts for wings in the back of his breastplate. And he's like, "So not all of us can fly. Very cool that you can. That looks like it's something bestowed upon you. I, however, can't do that. Cool for you,
Yeah,
though."
and so
Way to
he'll
go,
kind
Leon.
of he'll kind of stand back down, and he'll kind of give him the very high level TLDR that it's nice to meet you. My name is Leon. I'm actually thousands of years old. I was the prince of a ancient continental spanning city that was destroyed in an apocalypse. I was once killed. I was brought back in order to save the world. Nice to meet you. I'm a celestial being.
Hey, be sensitive. Just because you can fly doesn't mean you need to rub it in his face.
Sorry,
know?
Tinka, my bad.
It's okay. I'm used to folks making assumptions. Being
I'm sure. Well, because people
being-
know that I'm with a dragon, and you're like, "Oh, crazy."
yeah, it's meeting everyone in the last few days. It's been a more eclectic bunch than I met in all my time on Sarsia alone. So it's starting to become one of those things where nothing really surprises me so far.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The dragon thing
Well-
surprised me though, I''ll be honest.
Just keep being open-minded, because this is really just the tip of the iceberg. Do you know what an iceberg is?
I mean, yeah, I know what ice is. But like an iceberg, I don't
Okay,
know.
cool, yeah. Or would it be nature? Probably nature.
Yeah, what would it be to know if I know what an iceberg
Yeah.
is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, nature.
It's yeah.
I mean, with an 11, yeah. I mean, you know vaguely. You've never seen one.
I have expertise in nature. I've read about them. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
icebergs.
Lots of ice and water.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm-
bring your ships near them. We've heard that they're not good for ships.
What do you mean heard?
Y-
You
you know-
traveled through some.
No, I was talking about the Titanic.
I know,
Would-
but like you
Not
guys
good
went
for
through
sure.
a whole icy area.
Yeah, so we went through a whole icy area. We had a special ship, though. I think we had something about it was special to break up iceberg. If you ain't got a iceberg breaking ship, don't go to iceberg.
Don't
Yeah,
go to
sure.
iceberg.
Is DM
Right.
question:
Uh-huh.
Is Talus like actually like towards the south of
It is.
whatever shape this world is? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So would there be a
Talus?
polar cap there?
Oh my god, my daughter inherits an island.
She's named vaguely after an entire continent that's full of baddies.
You know,
ye-
there's been less for historical narrative before. It's possible.
Yes.
yeah.
Charles II existed.
I actually have a way to make this work later. Yes. So I would say probably. I don't know that you would have seen like icebergs necessarily. Like where he's from is kind of like this area on the map.
Got it. Okay.
So it's
yeah.
like even further south before you start seeing like genuinely frozen stuff.
Yeah. He's
but-
experienced like cold winters and shit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like because you guys are migratory, right? And you probably spent some
Yeah.
time up in the northern
Yeah.
part, which is ice-covered
Yeah.
mountains. So like conceptually, you understand.
So ice, but real big and in the water. Yeah, no, I've definitely heard tale.
Do you know what a pyramid is?
I mean, I do a lot. I've done a lot of reading in my life. I'm familiar with a pyramid.
Me
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Well, no, not
I've never
me.
seen one, but I've seen a sketch in a book.
Right, like that, but only the tippy top comes out of the water.
Oh, you know what? I need to make a note to the editor, who wrote pyramids, pirates, and pythons. He needs to add some more information about that.
Is that the same person that wrote Ships, Sharks, and Songs?
Yes, and
Ah.
Jinns, Genies, and Gypsies, the New World Order? Question mark. Have you read that one?
No,
That's the newest one.
Jin is spelled with a D.
No, I know that's the yeah.
Spelled incorrectly.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
No, I've only read the one. Hopefully in our travels we can find more.
He literally just
Yeah.
produces like a really well-read copy of Jinns, Genies, and Gypsies: A New World Order? Question mark,
Oh,
and just hands it over. I've read it twice.
She gives him the Sharks one.
Oh, perfect. What was it again? I gotta write that down.
Sharks, Ships, and Songs.
Perfect.
Oh, this is gonna be so bad for Brit. We are a bad combination.
It's fine. I love this.
That's fun.
I'm coming up with the author name.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
still need to find a copy of Demons, Devils, and Dragons. It feels all the more relevant now.
I feel like we really need that one first.
Yeah, I hear he wrote.
Okay,
it,
wait a
probably
second.
not many
At the
copies.
mention of demons, devils, and dragons, I think Leon's ears will perk up. Is that maybe a book that he might have read in the library? DM question mark.
I feel like it's in his bag.
Roll a d20 if you get above a 15. Yes. No.
Ah, perfect.
But
Never
Well,
mind.
But
Never mind.
We'll say probably not because Bartholomew Bramblebottom, who wrote this stuff, is like not an authority at all in any kind of stuff. He just writes books that are like mostly meme type books. It's a lot of misinformation, disinformation.
you know those child encyclopedias that I feel like all of us went through?
Absolutely.
I feel
it's
like they're that. And so they have a little bit of information on everything in that letter, but
But a
it's not
whole lot of
accurate.
garbage, yeah.
And it's not enough to learn anything. But
It's like-
Tinka seeing Leon perk up, saying, "Don't worry, Leon, we're gonna get it. We're gonna let you read it. Don't worry."
Oh, that one. I think that one might help us on our current quest. Like that sounds like it's very appropriate.
Yeah. Didn't you just say your order has the largest library in the world? You sure they don't have a copy?
Can you get
Yeah,
us? what we
well,
need?
I said, I've literally spent the past 9 months studying the library. I
Right.
think if there was a copy of it there, I would have run across it. It's not there.
I
Wait,
mean, I
make him
would-
roll something. Make him
I would-
roll history to remember if he even looked
Yeah.
at books.
Yeah.
Well,
dude.
that's what I rolled, right?
So we'll say the role was to see if he read it. I
okay,
think
well.
what she's saying is to see if he read it all. He definitely read. That was the whole part of it. The question would be roll a history to see if there's even something that you would recognize as a possible reference
Okay.
to that kind of thing. No.
Okay.
Not insofar as you remember. A lot of what you studied was like
Ah.
very focused on the world, right? So it was a lot of histories more than it was like natural sciences, and most of this stuff kind of falls into that category of like natural sciences and like mysticism.
Yeah, and I think even kind of with a bit of the description, I think Leon's even going to turn up his nose a little bit. It sounds like this is a little bit more like nonfiction, or sorry, a little bit more fiction than nonfiction. It sounds like this is a little bit more um you know that there's some exaggeration going on here maybe. So he's just going to be like, yeah, I don't think that was actually the right material for the library. I think it doesn't really belong there, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
that might be right. This is the same guy who wrote the For Illiterates guides to, a bunch of skills. There were a bunch of picture books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Side note, I want every fucking copy of this. I want every letter because I can just see like we're in a battle and someone's like, "Oh, that's a troll." Tinka just grabs the book, goes to troll, and just tells them what it says. But yeah, that's hopefully I'll help you write the names, Brig, because we need these to all exist.
It literally
Uh,
doesn't matter.
Timothy,
But okay.
did you still want beers, bears, and bees, or was it goblins, gin, and goblets?
No, it was demons, dragons, and something
No, for
else.
Timothy, not you. Not everything is about you.
Yes, it is.
Oh my god. I missed you, but you're still a pain in the ass.
You too.
No. Well, Timothy's dead.
Wait, what?
Oh, look at that. Did you
was just
still
like
want-
spaced out like he usually does.
Did you want the copy of Beers, Bears, and Bees, or was it Goblins, Gin, and Goblets?
I mean, me and books.
Well, they're about booze, my dude.
I'd rather just drink booze than read about booze.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna get him the illiterate one.
Yeah, definitely.
Bartholomew Bramblebottom, esteemed author of Genies, Gins, and Gypsies, A New World Order, Demons, Devils, and Dragons, Pyramids, Pythons, and Pirates, Sharks, Ships, and Songs, also Wizards, Wands, and Waffles, Elves, Enigmas, and Eels.
Oh, a zebra.
Knights, Knaves, and Kittens, Curses, Coins, and Cats, Spells, Swords, and Sausages, Trolls, Tarts, and Tantrums.
I love this. We can repeat
Ooh,
words like letters.
sausage.
Yeah.
What
Spells,
is the
Swords, and
award
Sausages.
for books in the real world?
Like the Scholastic one?
No. I know there's like a name. It's like the books that have the little medal on
Like
the
the-
cover.
Like the Pulitzer?
Yes. Okay. What are we gonna call it?
Oh, like the award?
Yeah, they're all award winning.
They're all on the
Ember
Sarsia
Throne
Herald's
bestseller
bestseller
series.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do. Because what is it? The New York Times, the bestsellers list.
Yeah.
The Ember Throne Times bestsellers list.
Sure. But
Now
it
we've
also-
canonically made a newspaper also.
It also makes sense that that's where it would be like hail from, because it's mostly human in that area and they are willing to believe just utter bullshit. And so this guy makes a killing there, as most of
It's a
that's-
completely
that's fucking-
regional empire.
Absolutely. And that's
I
probably
love
the
that.
reason you guys have read it, having spent a lot of time specifically in Ember Throne, while the rest of them not so much.
And even despite that, Leon, despite the 9 months there, it's way too lowbrow for him. So he is not paying attention to this thing at all.
But
No,
Tendrils
he's
and
excited.
Ember Throne are different places, right? So like, I think you only spent like a few weeks in Ember Throne versus.
Okay,
And you
fair enough,
perked
yeah.
up. That's already canon.
Yeah.
You declared that you perked up at the sound of it, so it's canon. You're a fan.
Well, it was dragons and demons. I mean, those are definitely things that he
devils.
like wants to, and devils, like he wants to fight those, right? I mean, yeah, that one specific volume, perhaps.
Well, can we canonically put Tide somewhere in Sharks, Ships, and Songs?
Like a reference to Tide.
Yeah, like a part where he turned into a shark, a part where he captained a ship, and then just a song about Tide.
How would this
What?
random person know who Tide is?
Yeah, I think here's the
Or-
problem. It's like he hasn't been the guardian of the fountain for long enough for somebody to have come across it, left, and been able to tell the tale.
Right.
But I think maybe, however many years in the future, eventually Tide will be written into a book.
Oh, wait a sec. James's character is totally telling the tale of Tide already. Come on.
Oh, 100%.
That's true. He probably would have taken on like this half barded kind of.
Yeah,
listen to my-
Duzud is definitely telling the tale of Tide.
Oh, he's spreading the word with the Reavers wherever they end up.
Do you want me to ask him?
Ask him what? Would he do
Like,
that?
do you want me to check in? Well, we can
Oh.
have him start spreading the word if that's what we want to do. But is it safe for Tide for people to know his location? Because that's a pretty secretive area, right? We don't want to put him in danger.
Also, something that you know that the mage has sought before.
Oh yeah, no, we don't. No one's gonna believe Duzud. We have nothing to worry about. Far enough away here. Huh?
Remember the
Who
last
said
time
that?
there was consequences of our actions? Maybe we should just not do anything about that at all.
Yeah, I mean, Himbo is
Yeah.
basically established with Apollos there that he's staying quiet about the fountain.
Yeah. Obviously,
Yeah.
you guys make whatever decisions you want to make. There's no way it's gonna have world consequences.
Yeah.
Intent.
Yeah, no way at all. Yeah.
No
yeah.
way.
But yeah, I think we all caught up, right? We found a book series we like. We talked about stuff.
Yeah. And we're hanging out on the ship and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just like old times with a new friend.
Yeah.
So about an hour passes. And it's like right at about the hour mark that there's a knock on the door, and without even waiting for you to answer, a dwarven man walks in. Let's show this photo again.
Whoa.
It's a man that you've all seen before, Grimmer Gurnham. Especially the three of you knew from his last time on the ship. This is the fellow who escorted you around last time. Zach, you know him because you've worked with him on the ship for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So you've known him as long as you've been aboard the Alien. He's a higher ranking Paragon, like deckhand type, but he also is like relatively high ranking just as like a Paragon official. For the rest of you, he's changed. He was very jovial the last time you saw him. I mean, big smile. This time, like, he's very staunch in his facial expression, and you can actually see like these terrible scars across his face. It's remnants of a long healed burn, but evidence across his face regardless. What was that for? Easy.
I was gonna see if I could tell why he seems like more stern than
Oh, I
before.
see. Gotcha.
But they what? Timothy wouldn't have known that the ship we were on with the Enclave got attacked.
Yeah, we're gonna
Over
say
there.
because I rolled the nat one, I completely forget about like that happening. At least for the
In this
you know
context,
next
yeah.
couple. Yeah,
Right,
and
take
at
a
least for
sword
like the
over.
next meeting that's coming up, I'm just gonna completely forget that the ship had gotten blown up by Morrigan.
Okay, I confused myself with that one. The dumb confused me.
What do you mean? You rolled a 19?
Well, no, Bridget was confused. Like,
Bridget, not.
am I missing something?
No, not at all. You don't have
I
to
knew that
roll for
Himbo
everything.
Yeah, no. I knew that Himbo went through the attack on the Aeolian, but it's like, does Himothy now remember that that's why everybody looks kind of more sad than before?
So he just doesn't know.
It kind of it kind of fits into the at the very least like hyper focus on like Himbo's world, versus like and also a long time's passed, right? Like the ship is basically the same ship. Maybe it's not. It's a ship of Theseus kind of question, but it is a rebuilt version of the ship. So there are parts of it that look different. It may not be top of mind for Himothy, at least in this moment. I understand it. Yeah, makes sense.
Is he approaching us?
Like as soon as he opens the door, he like looks at you all and just says, "The High Warden waits," and like turns to walk out, as if like you're supposed to follow.
All right, let's go.
Thanks, Grimar. And Sack just follows.
Yeah, you can like vaguely see him nod. He doesn't look back. He's walking ahead of you. You can like vaguely see him nod as if to acknowledge, but like he's kind of staying quite silent. The walk through these halls is strangely solemn, especially in these lower quarters. Like the halls and corridors are a little bit more tight knit until you get to the central area of the ship. And only when you get to the common areas do you start to get a feel for like the actual energy of the ship, and it's buzzing. As you guys are walking along, you're hearing these whispers and voices from kind of all areas around you. If you would, make for me a perception check.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Timothy's so.
Well,
Timothy
Timothy's like so much like he doesn't even realize that the mood's so bad that he just doesn't even notice.
I hope you guys don't need Leon for anything today.
I thought the mood was
It's
good,
alright,
not
we got
bad.
Yeah, so probably for the two of them, y'all are just kind of focused. Maybe we'll call it like nerves for like what this is about to be. Tinka and Sack, you both kind of hear the voices, and it's
Not the voices.
Well, I mean, you can like obviously you hear the whispering and stuff, but like you can actually like make out what they're saying. Is that them? They're the ones that they talked about, right? They're the ones that saw the witch.
Okay, so it's a good thing. You think they like it?
I don't-
Do you think they?
Did I see the witch?
I mean, you would
I
have
think
seen the dragon.
Blood mage is the witch.
Wait, is the dragon the witch?
Dragon. Remember the dragon that attacked? That's the witch.
Wait,
Remember?
the
We all
dragon's the
remembered
witch?
that happening.
Wait,
Yeah,
no one
it's a blood
explained
mage.
that to me.
It's
Oh,
a long story, and it's such a long story.
oh shit! I
She's-
have seen the witch.
she-
She was huge.
She's a dragon because she's targeted other dragons. That's why there's no dragons left. Her order
She
is
actually
killing
ate
them.
the dragon that we let her escape.
I
so she
don't
could
know
eat the
if you
dragon.
know that.
And don't,
Oh,
I
anyway.
think only Tinka knows that. Yeah.
Okay.
Tinka doesn't want to remember.
Okay, this puts some things from 9 months ago into perspective as to why that one guy had a kind of dragon arm. I guess she can do that since she's a dragon. That makes way more sense now.
Wait, who had
Okay.
a dragon arm?
Oh, some dude who I blew up. I blew his room up. Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
Alright,
Their armory
please
had a
don't
lot of
blow
black
up my
powder.
room.
No, I mean, are you gonna try and
We're
kill me?
sharing a room, so that's off limits, dude.
No, I mean, if you're not gonna try and kill me, I'm not gonna blow your room up.
I obviously think you're the coolest one in this party. I'm not gonna kill you.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay.
And
then-
with their insight, they didn't hear that.
No.
Yeah, they're just really focused.
Cool. We have an understanding for
Yeah,
now.
yeah, we have an understanding. They suck. We're the best. The end.
Well, okay. I mean,
Alright, so-
that one can fly, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but you know what's cooler than being able to fly? Being chill about it. Not like, I can fly, you can't. Haha, you're a bird, you must be able to fly.
Yeah, that was super not
was real.
nonchalant. Yeah, it was
Weird,
kind
weird
of.
as hell. Those
Eh.
hoity-toity better than you types, you know?
Yeah, first the humans, now some reborn celestial.
Mm-hmm. Fucking good. Yeah, if you expected a change, Tinka, you're not getting it.
It fits right now. Grimmer continues to lead you, like without a glance towards the other. He takes you through the remainder of the enclave. Let's show you guys what the inner of this ship looks like, so you can have a sense of scale. Ship is huge.
What's the Titanic?
Bigger and flying.
Can I do a look for iceberg?
Whoa.
You're in the interior. I don't know how you would see out.
Wait, was
Your
this room
friends
there
go with
before, or is this like newer construction compared
Yeah.
to before?
Zach, this is the way you've known it. Timothy, as you're walking through, like you're recognizing that this is some of the same area that you were in before. It's now, instead of only 2 floors, it goes down 3 floors. The fighting pit's
Is this
still
a
in the
sky
lower
ship?
area. What's that?
Is it a sky ship?
Yeah.
She goes to the window, looks around, and goes, "No icebergs! We're in the fucking sky. I thought we were in a ship.
Bruh.
I mean,
You're
well,
right.
we are in a ship.
Tinka, this was always a sky ship. What are you talking
We're
about?
on the ocean."
I mean, like, technically
Oh, man,
we're
I think
over
it's
it.
the altitude getting to me. I'm sorry, guys.
There's
Would,
the reborn alien.
Oh.
Yeah, no icebergs.
Would Sack be aware if the 2 skyships that were rescued were used in the rebuilding?
Yeah, you'd know for certain that like 2 of them were stripped for parts, largely.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did I tell you there was a third one recovered? If not, there was a third
Yeah.
one
Yep.
recovered.
Yep.
But,
Yeah.
But 2 of them absolutely were completely stripped for parts.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Sack is just kind of motioning around. Yeah. So I mean, I know I'm the new guy on the block, as it were, but yeah, some of the new construction was liberated by the Paragon's efforts on the continent in the wake of everything that went on. It's pretty cool to see how it all shaped up. This thing is massive. I've never seen a ship so big.
Yeah.
Big ship.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is enormous. Timothy, as you're walking through, make for me a perception check. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
You spot a figure in just about the same kind of area in which you were once sparring with this said individual. He's 2 decks below you, but as you're like walking through, he looks up and makes eye contact with you and nods.
And I think I know exactly who that is.
You do know who that is.
Warden Gilbert.
One Gilbert.
I'll just Sack clock this.
What's your passive? Yeah, I think your passive perception is
18.
really high. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sack gives an excited wave to Jill from up there.
Hey, buddy.
Wait, hang on. Let me see if this still works. Oh, Gil notices.
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
Nice. Oh, that guy's
I'm
great.
not even
You know
gonna
him?
roll.
Because you're not paying attention, or why?
No, because she wouldn't know them, would she?
I don't think so. Yeah, no, like it's,
Yeah, no. I feel like this is something they know from the one shot. That's why that's the insinuation. But she
Timothy
doesn't.
knows him from months ago. He was the one that he sparred
This
with.
isn't the asshole guy, right? Like
No, this is the
one
guy
who-
that Timothy had sparred with while the Ganassi was looking at, I believe it was the shield.
I don't think I was there for this.
And it was while he was also
Sure.
testing out the armor. While we were on the Aeolian the first time on our way to where we were going to get dropped off. For
When we had to do the puzzle with the electricity,
Uh-huh.
is he a gnome?
No. This is a human figure. So I don't think Tinko was there at that moment. I think Tinko
No,
was
it was
like,
only
in the
Timothy. It was
library.
only Timothy.
Oh yeah, then she's just not gonna. I'm not
Yeah.
rolling. I don't care.
I mean, like it would be like vaguely. Do you remember anybody on this ship? But there are hundreds of people on the ship. Last time there was about 100.
3
Now
people.
there are hundreds.
I remember the gnome, the prisoner, and the asshole in charge.
Yeah, no, this isn't anybody that I don't think Tinka would have met.
Okay, continue.
He eventually does lead you to this like inner room. Yes, perfect. I do have this. Tried to make as much art as I could for this one. He leads you to double doors, and this is kind of in the rear of the skyship. And he opens up the double doors, and inside you see quite a few people. The High Warden is there, along with several others. Some you've seen before, some you haven't. Timothy, one of the people you recognize is Yelona. She's there. This is the first that you've seen of her since that night, the night of Blood and Flame. She looks...
And after having spent the better part of almost a year, I guess, looking for her, trying to find her, it's like, oh, well, here she is after all.
Yeah, exactly. But you've been on the ship for a few days now, and you haven't seen her until today, right? Like you've had free reign of the ship for the most part. Seems like kind of like last time, she's just shown back up. She looks hardened. Her facial expression and demeanor are much more grizzled, and she, with many others in the room, kind of bear similar marks of that night. And for Yelona, it's this burn scar that runs along her face. Let's see. You can see where it kind of is like in the corner of her lips, like lightly scarred, but then quickly and more violently, the scar runs across her cheek and her jaw all the way to her left ear. Like as you enter in, another person enters behind you that you also recognize, and it's the same person, a human man carrying a rapier. And when you make eye contact, he once again nods and then looks to the central table where the High Warden is stationed. Around the rest of the room, you see tons of other folks, militant types, roguish types, mercenaries. This is surely not the same group of rangers and druids you once encountered long ago. Some of those do remain, but certainly not in like kind of the same makeup that it was originally. It's a much larger collective. As you enter in, the High Warden notices you all kind of surveying the room. Let's do High Warden, who also looks quite a bit more grizzled now. And you also see they have leaned much more into their masculine aesthetics. You can probably for the first time tell that this is a man. Last time they had much more of like an androgynous kind of look, but now it's like they've abandoned the pomp and circumstance of trying to like be somebody, and instead this is just a rigid, war-torn individual. As you walk in, you're kind of like surveying the room. He speaks, and he says, "Yes, this is a resistance group now. We are all of those who might stand against the darkness, and you have no need to worry. Those who had been indoctrinated by the old ways, those members are all long gone." Tinka, you immediately...
Is Brandon here?
Yeah, so you immediately know what this is. First and foremost, he's detecting your thoughts as you enter the room, like he did last time. And then when you say, "Is Bramden here?" he says, "No, Bramden's been taken care of."
She's dead.
I wouldn't put it so bluntly, but yes.
Good. Fuck that guy. How can we help? We're happy to see that you are surviving.
Yes, surviving is probably the best way to describe what's happening here. We are in a dire situation. I bring us all here because I'm sure, as you know, we've all had this shared vision. Seems we have much to discuss since our last encounter. Much, as you know, and the world has changed, and our organization for one.
Yeah, I think we've all been through drastic change these last few months. And I'm really hoping we can be of any help.
Same. I once offered our resources to you as a resource as you journeyed on, and I think now perhaps it's best we continue that partnership now that you've returned. Though I'm sorry to see your numbers have dwindled. I am glad that at least the three of you have returned.
Yeah, one of them went on to bigger, better things. The piratey one, we don't really know. We kind of just let him do piratey things. And then, yeah, two of them just kind of left.
This lifestyle isn't for everyone.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they can't put up with like, she points to Leon. He's a lot to put up with, so some of them, they just can't take it.
He kind of nods.
Leon will just be like, well, it's, saving the world isn't an easy task. Not everyone's up for it.
See?
Saving,
like being around
saving the world.
Goddamn martyr.
Yeah, he kind of like at saving the world. He's like, I would hesitate to call what any of us have done yet is save the world. Though I do believe we're all like-minded individuals, those who would stand up against darkness. Would you agree?
And both finally going to pipe up, yes.
Dak nods in the background.
I'm like, that's obvious, right? I think it's just not gonna answer.
What is she thinking? Because he's still detecting thoughts.
She's thinking, well, duh.
Okay.
Like, hello? Have you met us, my guy? She's also gonna think, dang, he looks kind of cute now. But unrelated.
He looks over at you and kind of like smiles with like a half like pained smile, and looks back to Leon and says, "What about you?"
But I ask Leon to like look back and like what are you asking me? Like, are you questioning my commitment? What? Huh?
Not at all your commitment, but you should understand this as you believe. Call to save the world may not be saving the world as you knew it. We're not here to be heroes and martyrs. We're here to be resources for this dying world. You understand that, correct?
What do you what are you trying to tell me? Like, what do you mean by that?
Make for me a wisdom saving throw.
I think at hearing resources for a dying world, Zach is also a bit confused.
Tink is like, I got a kid now, but I'll sacrifice man. He's got a dad.
Do you ask that question, Zach?
Yeah, I think from the background he'll pipe up a dying world. I thought the whole point was to keep it from dying.
Of course. The state of this world, though, as it is now, it'll become clear as you venture on from here. The reason we're here, this Morrigan, her influence is vast, wide. Her corruption has spread across all continents. And where her corruption goes, death goes. Unholiness goes. Chaos goes. What I mean by dying world is we need to provide whatever we can, resources of our people, resources of food, and most importantly, the resource of hope to those who have lost it. We also need to fight back against her.
At the mention of hope, Tinker brings the pictures back out like, I have a kid now. This is hope.
This is a lovely child.
Well, as well, High Warden, as I've come across in my travels, there was, at least in one area where I went, a distinct boundary between where Morrigan was able to affect and where she wasn't. It seems like there's some power, whether it's magic, whether it's something else, that is able to stop her and keep her at bay. So at least we're not completely hopeless. I think there is some way of being able to stop her.
This is good news. My seekers have not reported the same. Where was this location?
And Timothy is going to relay this kind of palace area on Ilpathia about where the boundary of the corruption was versus that palace temple area where he found the shard of Elantari.
He looks over to an elven woman. She has brown hair. Sak, you know this to be Silara, the head of the Seekers. And he says, take a group, explore this. If this is true, we should try and identify the source. So far, all we've seen is in the wake of this. Whatever she is, only destruction. But if there's something that's keeping it at bay, we should uncover this.
Well, I will caution, and Timothy's going to pipe up, that once I was able to talk to or interact with whatever being was there, because he's going to try and keep the fact that like Elantari was involved secret from the High Warden, because he knows that there was a fragment powering the previous incarnation of the Aeolian. But he is going to try and basically say, look, whenever that being left the area, he sensed that whatever magic might have been protecting was gone, and that they might not be able to find, whether necessarily that it's active, but if they're able to detect traces of it, possibly. But he's going to kind of caution them, like hey, it's not going to be super easy to discover that because whatever most of the magic there is already gone.
I see. Well, a scout party nonetheless. We should gather whatever information we can. Perhaps we can find this being you speak of, at the very least. Questions.
And this is going to be about, whether or not he's able to keep secret the fragment of Elantari.
Yeah. So I'll just as an opposed roll. Because he is detecting thoughts, right? The name Elantari crosses your mind, and the scope of what that is, he doesn't seem to pick up on, but you can kind of like see like when a dog tilts their head when they're like curious about something. When he detects Elantari, he like mouths that word and gives you that same kind of like head tilt question. And then you hear in your mind, I see we have much to discuss.
We'll discuss that when the time comes, or like shortly, or whatever he needs to say.
Okay. The High Warden looks to the rest of you and says, Wardens, you know. Seekers, you perhaps know. These are our elite who gather information, gather valuable intelligence, bring back to me, bring back to this group so that we can be armed as we venture into the world. Our seekers have reported quite a few things that I think it's important you know about, particularly the movements of the simulacra, those who are like her but not her. He's referring to Morrigan, of course. He kind of motions to another figure. It's another human-looking male who's wearing a... Is this the right one? No, this one. He's wearing kind of like a duster, and he's I'll just show you the picture. Cowboy hat kind of thing. More middle-aged kind of fellow. And introduces this figure as Fenwick or Fen. And asks him to stand forward. Fen, you've been hunting her. What news do you have? What can you report? This figure steps forward and kind of nods to all of you and says, I suppose if you're here, we have quite a bit of work to do. The first thing you need to note is there are 3 of her, at least still quite active on all the various continents. The first, the one known as the Scarlet Emissary, was rumored to hold court in Moncrave in the Ral's Inner Circle. She's been advising him subtly strengthen his ranks. Said whenever she appeared, unnatural resilience and bloodlust came over the guards and soldiers in his ranks. This was likely the reason that the guard has had some explosive growth. Her dark enchantments feeding Ral's desire for conquest and solidifying her influence over the guard's military operations. Believe, and he looks to you, Sack, believe this is who you saw. The dragon that attacked in Ember Throne. Second, we call the Harrower. Another one of her simulacra was sighted deep in the wilds. Unlike the emissary, her work was openly destructive, twisting land wherever she went. Enclave scouts looking at Solara. Her group have all reported corruption, forests, mountains, creatures of stone and flame rising, undead horrors from the ground. This one's magic, leaves, rivers cursed, the earth is tainted, and nature turned monstrous. Her red and black magic mark everything, grass, trees, animals, rocks, even the water. She spreads darkness and thorns over miles. And scouts often find scattered pockets of her corruption, but every time they try to enter deep, they've had to retreat, in fear of getting trapped. Some have confronted her, but it's proved quite costly. Few returned, and those who did spoke of the cursed lands and sudden unnatural storms. The third, we call the Veiled Hand. This one's a bit more elusive. She moved through the lands like a whisper, spreading her influence less seen than the Harrower. Hers seems to happen in the mind. Where we had once built alliance, she sowed mistrust, turning allies against each other and weakening what bonds were being built. Reports indicate she was also searching for powerful relics, magical items. Some from other worlds brought to Kyrios during the Convergence. But lately, seems that she can be everywhere at once, aided by something that enhanced her movement. Her strength lay in subterfuge, casting doubt over every new ally that we can make. Those in the towns and cities, they fear her. They refuse even our aid, wary of potentially being drawn by whatever influence she carries. He kind of steps back and let the High Warden step back in.
Well, before that, can Himothy interrupt and say, "Hey, Fenwick, is the Harrower the only one able to spread the corruption, or is that something that the Scarlet Emissary is capable of?"
We don't actually know. We've only seen it with the Harrower. It's possible all three of them can do it. Perhaps it's directly from Morrigan herself. We don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because I had come across corruption on Elpathia during my travels, but recently I overheard some officers of the Crimson Guard saying that the Scarlet Emissary may be attacking Yarma soon.
I think Sack's also going to jump in and just go. And when the Scarlet Emissary attacked, what you explained the Harrower could do was also present in Ember Throne. So I'd be curious to know if that was two of them working in concert, or if they can all do each other's little shtick.
All great questions. I don't know that we have the influence or the abilities to find that out ourselves. Something we should consider. Again, she's quite powerful, so approaching is difficult.
Well, I think whatever information I have is worth sharing. So, whatever I know, I'll make sure that the whole group knows as well.
Absolutely. I'll say we have had a few encounters with each at various times. They look similar, of course, they look like her, but they wear slightly different clothing. The clothing has been less reported, so much as just their presence. For certain, we've encountered the Harrower. The one actually spreading the corruption. We've encountered her the most, because she's in the wilds.
Is she missing part of her rib cage area?
You know about her.
I've heard reports of her, and it sounded like that might have been who was the one in Elpathia. From what I've learned about these, they call them simulacra. They can't, once they're injured, once they're hurt, they can't really regenerate. They can't really heal the way that the rest of us do.
The High Warden pipes up because that's right. They are mere copies of her, and if they are damaged, they become weaker. Their magic can stay strong, but they should be easier to dispose of. It's also our belief that she can't make more. If she could, she would have. It's been plenty of time now, so perhaps whatever her resource was that allowed her to do it in the first place is depleted. Perhaps that's why she has one of them looking for relics. Perhaps she needs something else to create more of herself. It's hard to say. The Harrower, though, this is particularly why I brought you here. You three have faced her directly. you faced Morrigan directly, and she was able to be stopped then, but as you mentioned last time, her power has grown. Obviously, she's quite dangerous. Perhaps, though, if the Harrower is damaged, perhaps if she's weakened, you could go with a scouting party to find and dispatch her.
Is it wise though to go after that one while this one, the Scarlet Emissary, drives the civil war in Sarcia though?
I'm not sure you have a choice. I don't believe the emissary can be gotten to. If she's surrounded by Crimson Guard forces, how would any one group get in that close? I'm open to this discussion, but
Well, again, based on what I've learned, she might be trying to make moves on Yarma. It might be worth at least having some amount of resources, you know, thinking about that possible area, you know, in the future, just because she might be of interest, you know, she might be interested in that part of the world shortly.
well, I can assure you she is. In fact, that's where you're going if you are willing to go after the Harrower. It's my belief that that's actually who was seen. It's the Harrower. That's just what we call her. I also believe that the Crimson Guard believe it to just be one individual, whom they call the Emissary. All that to say, they could have been wrong.
Okay, well, if that's the one that presents the best opportunity, then I mean, I guess
Yeah.
let's go see what we can do.
Yeah.
Well,
What's the deal with Yarma? What's her interest there? Just the next closest major continent, or something more strategic that we could be informed of?
Well, that's the thing. I believe she's taken over a city there. The whole continent is divided and has been for a while. Civil war on the continent. She has established a location inside the city of Ormrath. The woods outside the area have all been corrupted. This corruption that your friend spoke of, this paladin figure, but has spread far into the city itself. Whatever was living there is no longer alive. At least insofar as we can tell. We can't get that close. We'd have to venture all the way into this blight, but that's not something I've been willing to do myself. I haven't had the resources to go outside of some of the other seekers. We need actual fighters, and those who can be a little more discreet.
Discretion is our first name, man.
I move in silence and violence, as you know.
He nods. He looks over to an orcish figure in the back of the room who's like cradling this axe with blood caked on the blade, and he goes, "I wish some others would be."
Oh, he's not coming with us, is he?
No,
You wish others would be more discreet?
of course.
Ooh, does that mean we messed up, or is this just completely outside of us?
No, so he's particularly talking about this guy that only Sack knows to be called Kurg. This brutish orc figure.
Sack waves to Kurg.
What does Kurg do? Is Vol sleeping?
No, I'm here. I'm here. No, I would.
He's getting
Yeah,
into
why not?
character.
Does that
No.
again? We get
No,
violent.
I guess Kurg is probably. Honestly, he's probably volunteering to go. Right? He's probably like, can I go with them? It sounds like they're going to be doing some battle. Can I go with? Can I come?
The High Warden looks and says, "You're needed elsewhere, friend. Best stay here for now. You'll be moved out soon."
Oh, okay, but I'll get to kill over there, right?
Plenty.
Herg, there's more to life than just killing. You can't. They need stealth on this mission, and I don't think you're
Gilbert
the
here now,
best
too?
one.
Are you sure
Yeah.
we can't take him? He seems
Gilbert's in the room for this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We've
It's
established
all
He
his
seems like a
characters.
great meat.
Okay, yeah. Zach just turns to Kurg. Kurg, you are so good at like very specific things. Stealth, just really, it's not one of them, man.
I still think that I'm quite good at it. You guys are just really underselling my ability. But okay, fine. I'll just stay here. But you did promise me kill things, High Warden, and Kurgo kind of maybe go into the other room and brood over his axe. And
There will be a mission where you'll get to kill things. This is not the one.
I want him to come with us. I want to take this one. How much for this one?
Can't get the NPC herder. Except this one's actually a PC.
You're right, it's actually
It has a
PC.
voice. Can we
Uh,
take this one? It wants to kill. We will be killing.
Perhaps later. For now, this one, as much as I enjoy what he does, I don't believe is an opportunity to go silently, as is going to be required. Perhaps another
next
time.
time. Yeah, next time as in when Vol dies.
Right. When
Well,
Leon
it was
dies.
nice meeting you,
Not
friend.
Vol.
Yeah, no, Vol's a person. Nice meeting you. We're going to allow you to kill things with us one day, but not today.
Oh yes, I hope one day to shed blood with you as well. Good day.
Good day and a pleasant morrow.
Hmm.
Hmm?
Alright, we heard of that one, yeah.
The Finwick, he says, I think it best perhaps we just go in a small group, no more than 5 or 6, and the question is always going to be whether or not we want to try and sneak our way in through the corrupted wood. It's been my experience so far that if that's what we try and do, she'd know we're coming. It's like the corruption can speak. So my suggestion would be perhaps we take one of the other sky ships, the more stealthy ones, to drop us in from above.
Well, but we can't fly. Only he can.
Only he can fly.
Yeah.
We both point at Leon.
He can fly, but we can't. I'm a bird
can
man,
fly.
but I can't fly.
Well, wait a second. Is Leon thinks he might have a plan. Hey, DM, is there a beast form that Leon learned about in the history tomes that can let him bring people, drop them down into an area from a skyship?
Sure.
Maybe like a giant eagle or something like that.
Oh my god, the Eagles are playing.
Like an Aarakocra, but bigger.
Yeah.
Griffin.
So the
We can
question
ride
is
on his-
like, what is the strength of a giant eagle? I think like the determining factor is like you could carry maybe Zack and Tinka, but you couldn't carry 6 people.
Okay.
What if we rode giant eagles? Do we have any of
What
those?
if I magically had
Well, no, like okay, so like I mean, mechanically, like Leon has polymorph, right? So like if there's like a beast that he could turn into that can bring everyone, but I just don't know if there's one that exists that like can
There is
carry
it's
everyone down.
too high a challenge rating for you to turn into it at the moment.
Okay, so there's not really one that's available. Okay, so Leon will be like, well, I have a bit of a plan. Like I mean, I could get a few people down, but I don't think I get a whole party down.
Your skyship doesn't have a way for us to climb out of it? Like, is there a rope?
Well, that's the
Well,
thing.
he hasn't explained
I
anything
think we'd be
yet.
too high up.
Right, so there are a couple options we have. Certainly, you could take a sky skiff and try and navigate that down. It basically is.
We've had good results with those.
You have. You've had successful
Yeah.
results. You didn't crash. Other option would be just to take these, and he like holds out his hand with a bunch of featherfall tokens in them. You
Hell
hold one,
yeah!
jump out of the ship. It's easy as that. You'll float to the ground. And then
Is this a one-time use kind of thing, or do we keep these forever?
It's a one-time use, but I have quite a few if we need them.
Oh, yeah. Are you coming with us?
Of course, I'm gonna lead you.
Hell yeah, dude. This is gonna be great. Welcome to the party.
He kind of like smiles.
She's gonna think he's kind
Leon
of
will
cute.
kind of be like, don't let her make you part of the collection.
Oh, do you not want to be part of our group? Or I thought we were doing this together.
I don't know
No,
what he's
I meant
referring to.
the collection. You know the collection.
I don't
Never
know what
mind.
you're
It's
talking about
okay.
now.
It's okay.
You're joining us to what? What are you talking about? We're trying to defeat
it's okay.
people, and
It's
you're
okay.
more
We'll
concerned
continue.
about a collection.
Group
Yeah,
mom.
Tinka doesn't know what you're talking about.
Tinka, who now has an actual daughter and an island full of beast
Yeah, and
folks
a
that she
husband.
moms.
Absolutely, she's the NPC collector, but she doesn't know that. She's just a person living their life.
Oh, by the way, Kai died.
No,
Yeah.
Wow.
What about
The
the little
dad?
one?
Kit's alive. Kit and
the mom.
Kit and his mom are alive. Yeah. Kai never made it back.
Can
Anyway,
we just say that Tinka's already handled that awkward conversation that Bridget just got a huge amount of anxiety over?
yes. I won't make
Thank
you
you.
argue
Thank
that
you
out.
so much.
Sorry, we abandoned your husband in a completely different continent.
That's the whole thing, because it wasn't intentional. It was, oh god, I have to take medicine. Bye.
drugs. No, he tells you that there is a sky ship. It's a more industrial sky ship that you guys can take, and that the expectation would be getting in will be easy. Getting out will be the hard thing. The ship can't go that low. It has to hover at least about 500 feet. So getting back would be the most difficult part. But if you can find her, and if she is what, first of all, who they believe she is, where they believe she is, then she's hurt and she's holed up in this city Ormrath, which basically is just overrun with her corruption and like the forest kind of moving into the city, the corrupted vines and everything kind of moving through the city. So getting as close as you can to where they believe she's stationed will be helpful. Otherwise, you might have to fight through hordes of the corrupted, as we're referring to them.
Yeah, no, we definitely want this to be like a precision drop, like a bunch of Marines going down there. Absolutely, let's go.
What's a marine?
So we take the battle bus and we drop
Oh,
over
where we dropping?
Onrath. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
where
We
we're
gotta be
dropping.
Where are we dropping?
Where are we dropping? It's they just told us, Tinka. It's Onrath.
Not tilted?
I mean, there might be a tilted tower. They said it's corrupted.
Okay. Ooh, you think the tomato guy is there?
Oh, there might be a tomato town. Yeah.
I want to play Fortnite. Stop this. Stop this right now.
Do the default dance on them.
We're about to all pivot and go play Fortnite.
You're gonna
The
do
OG's
great.
back.
I have never played Fortnite.
I've
Oh,
never
we're
Neither
getting-
have I.
It's-
yeah,
yeah.
it's all whoosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
Well,
I have so much Fortnite stuff.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
So we have a way
anyway.
in.
Yeah, and so he tells you basically they think the hero is the one that you're after, that she had been the one that was like most seen until about 9 weeks ago when all sightings stopped. And about that time, reports did come back from some of the seekers that a local group of mercenaries had tried to like take her on, people that they had like partnered up with on Yarma, but it would turn out those mercenaries were like a bunch of skilled fighters and they had not been successful. Some of whom ended up corrupted themselves, and the Seekers, only like 2 of the Seekers were able to make it out. So most likely that she dispatched them and carried on with spreading whatever foul magic she has. But those reports did make note of it again, this last location, Ormrath, which is this kind of secluded city on one of the coastal areas of Yarma.
All right. Well, I guess once we get down there, we can figure out how to get back up. Um, is there like a mountain range that would be in like the ship's service floor? You said it can't go below 500 feet. Is there somewhere we could traverse to easily re-embark, or like how's that gonna work?
Um, strategically, there are mountain ranges. There's a couple different options, right? So like, there's a skyport that would be in one of the nearby cities. I say nearby, near enough by a couple 100 miles, maybe. Even further north, there are mountains. Basically, just any way to get back into the ship, it needs to be a tall tower, kind of embarking area. The other option they tell you is if you're okay to be dropped off and left, they hand you the Wayfinder's Guide, which is what has a teleportation basically back to the alien, wherever it is.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's great. We could have saved a lot of time if we just let them say that.
Yeah, that's way easier. Why didn't you guys lead with that?
Yeah. Why, Leon?
Well-
Stop telling people you can fly. That wasn't even relevant.
Leon's gonna pull a Wayfinder's bag out of his bag, I think, and be like, "I got one right here, yo. What do you mean?"
Why did no one lead with all
Question
this?
mark?
That's crazy.
He takes that one from you. I'm gonna retcon a little bit what we said in our one-on-one. He's gonna take that one
Okay.
and say, well, this one no longer works. It is for the old destroyed ship, but here. And then he hands you a new one with, instead of a yellow jewel, it's a blue jewel on the front.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry. Change.
Oh.
That mean the legendary goes down to like an uncommon,
Not that kind of jewel.
or is blue epic?
It's yellow, not gold. Okay.
Yeah, give it to me in Borderlands ratings.
The item itself is.
It's just a different skin. Okay.
Right.
So we're back to Fortnite.
No, that's a Borderlands, right?
It can be. It can be.
Yeah,
Borderlands, yeah. These can be skinned. But yes, it basically the jewel is attuned to the new location on the sky ship, the alien. It can bring back a total of 8 people, and I think if only 6 of you go, then you should be fine.
Yeah, so we'll do a precision drop with these feather fall. We'll pop in. We'll destroy the simulacrum, and we'll be back before you know it. This will be nothing can go wrong with this, right?
Yeah, easy. GG's.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we got this.
I'm sure the last guys said that too. Yeah.
And they were skilled fighters. Are we?
I mean,
Aim
like,
for the bushes.
we're pretty good.
Yeah. We've killed when warranted. We're not just like a band of murderers, but we've killed.
We've killed.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
killed.
like you
yeah,
guys get
yeah.
it. She looks at the high word and you get it. Like you kill when you gotta kill. You don't just kill to kill.
When you say that, he looks at you and goes, "Yes, I have great memory of killing when, you know." And then like you get a very quick flash in your mind of blowing up the Enclave ship.
Yeah, I remember that. Not the best killing, but it's an example of when you gotta kill, you gotta kill.
Murder hoboing at its finest.
Oh, well, we got attacked by a dragon.
What are you guys talking about?
Just old memory.
Well, no,
That's
because
how-
Timothy forgot this with that Nat 1 insight roll.
Huh? Did I have a nap
Remember
with it?
that time I
Yeah, you
got
did.
vaporized, Timothy? I think it's that one.
Oh, you died then. That's crazy. There's
No,
already that.
I didn't die then. That was just another time I almost died.
They die
Oh.
a lot.
Yeah.
Once we had a party member that died and came back like a zombie. That
Oh,
didn't
that's
last long.
unpleasant. Yeah.
Yeah, not great.
and at that
Okay,
moment,
so we.
she appears on the ship.
See that one? She would just push her.
So we have a way in and a way back. We have a mission. What else do we need?
Resources? She winks at the guy with the feather fall token.
Yeah, he says it's probably best that you do gather what you need before we go. Perhaps see Ignara. Certainly go gather what you need. I don't know exactly how long this will take. A few days of travel via the skyship, and then it could be as quick as just a short few hour turnaround, but that's hard to say. It could also take us days. We should prepare accordingly.
All right. Well, yeah. No sweat off my ass. I'm ready when you guys are.
Great. Well, meet me at the rear of the ship when you're ready. I'll be prepared there. Take no longer than an hour, maybe two. We should prepare to go ahead and get going. I'll introduce you to the captain as soon as you're ready.
Guys, we get to meet the captain.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Wait, have you met the captain?
DM, is this one of the ships we recovered, or did those get scrapped?
There is a different, well, there's a version of one of those ships that's also been kind of restored and not in like the greatest condition. It's very industrial in nature. The question would be, have you met this guy? Roll for me a, let's call it history at 12. DC 12. Yeah, you met this guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Is he nice?
Yeah, he's cool.
Okay, cool. We're gonna meet the captain.
Super cool guy. Yeah.
He's pretty nonchalant. He's just like a chill guy.
Oh man, he's not like a crazy character, like wild and crazy.
I actually don't really remember. I mean, I met him, but I don't really remember. I won't paint you a
Okay,
picture
so
before
then-
you meet him. Yeah.
And it brings out the pictures again. And she shows the two new guys. This is my baby. This is my partner. And if I die, someone tell my family. Yeah.
The High One's like, of course, we'll make arrangements, but I trust you wouldn't be so reckless as I. Not this quickly.
Oh no. But you never know. It's just in case.
Preparations will be made accordingly.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, so you guys have a little bit of downtime, right? Like to go and gather what you need to. If you're not going to be staying on the ship any longer, so like gathering your things if you didn't keep them. They basically dismiss you to go at it. Himothy, when you turn to walk out the door, Gil's kind of waiting nearby.
Yeah, and obviously they're gonna do the Dutch Dylan handshake from Predator, one of those.
Heavy
Because like
slap.
they recognized each other being on the ship, so it's like, oh, we know who each other is, like. And I think Himbo's gonna go, "It's good to see you, old friend," and Gil's gonna go, "Yeah, it's good to see you too." And Himbo's gonna go, I promised you last time, maybe next time we'd have a bet. Maybe we should have that little bet and go spar again. Gil's gonna go, "Well, I've never been one to back down from a challenge, so I accept." And they're gonna go down to the pit and have a little sparring match.
Except for that one time when he
Just-
literally backed down from a challenge with a girl.
He was on a mission then. He had to focus on his priorities. If he was maybe, on shore leave from the Enclave, so to speak, or from the Paragons, then yeah, maybe he would have had that bet. But he was mission oriented. He knew he had a goal, and his goal was to stay stealthy and not draw attention, despite
Feels a
everything
wuss.
that Kurg was doing to the opposite.
Okay, so that one's a martyr, and this one won't fight girls. So mix that.
Yeah, let's go and do some fighting rink stuff. What do we say?
I'm up for it.
Let's see. I don't know that I have any maps for fighting rinks.
Let's just go back to like that wide shot of the ship, because I think you can kind of see the fight pit in the bottom of
Yeah,
it.
maybe we can do that.
By the way, as they're probably going to the fighting pits, I'm sure Kurg is very, very much like cheering them on here. Let's see some blood. Yes, let's go. I cannot wait for this. This will be excellent. Perfect. Cannot wait.
I think he's gonna hang out with him.
Yeah, so Kurg is a really big fan of betting. So do you guys want to wager on this fight?
Oh yes, yeah. Sack is also gonna saddle up to
Oh yeah,
bet.
Kirk will definitely bet on it.
Yeah.
Who is Timothy against?
His alter
One
character Gil.
Gilbert.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It's Fightception?
Yeah, fightception.
I don't want to bet on them. They both. There's one fancy guy and a Timothy.
Not enough.
Yes.
You're not so you don't have any confidence in your friend, do you? You're not going to bet me. Is that the
You're
case?
just gonna walk away a little bit and send a message to a message to Timothy and say, "Want to put a bunch of money on it?" And you throw.
Wait, how does Timothy respond? Is it like telepathically, or does he have to speak out loud?
I think you have to whisper. So whisper.
Why would I do that?
So we make a bunch of money. Maybe
No.
like we just walks away. Then take it. So the message to the other guy, hey, you want to throw and we'll make a bunch of money?
And again, Gil's the same kind of like honorable character, and he's just gonna
one-note
decline it as
characters.
well.
Yeah, Tiki says, yeah, I'm not betting. I can't.
I was gonna say, all of your characters are basically self-inserts too, though. So come on now.
Oh yeah, they're just
I mean-
chaotic.
Gil fights dirty, but I mean, he's not like he's still like honorable. Like he still wants to, do the right thing.
Even Kurg wouldn't go down.
Well, he's not fighting. She's not even gonna ask him.
And also the other thing too is
Be glad
Gil
Kurt's not
Gil has a
fighting.
score to settle because he lost the last one with Timothy. So like he desperately wants to prove his worth and like show that he's a little bit better in this match.
Yeah,
Or he's not going to
Timothy's
throw it.
interested.
He wants to win this one.
So
She's not even invested in that. She already got told no. She's
she's over. Then Sack and Kurg, you guys can bet each other, however you want to do it. Winner take all.
Or who's your money on?
It's on Gil, of course. He's my man, of course, Gil.
Well, I was gonna bet on Gil too, so I guess I don't know. I don't want to bet on him. I don't know him, you know.
Yeah,
No, I guess there's no betting to be done today, then, I suppose.
Yeah.
you don't want to bet
Uh,
on him.
No, there's a couple dudes who watched Timothy in the last fight who are like, my money's on that guy. So there's a couple bystanders who you guys can bet with.
What are you guys putting up?
What do you say, 50 gold?
Yeah,
50.
sure. 50 it is.
I'll put 1 gold on him as he.
One? What are you, some kind of trendsetter over here, fashionista?
Yeah. I just sent. I removed 1 gold. But I'm a good friend and I really believe in him.
1 gold's worth. Yeah, you do have one taker who's like a really timid dude who's kind of like, yeah, he seems. My money's on Gil. 1 gold sounds great.
Good luck, but bad luck.
I mean, the irony is too, like Himbo and Gil, like as they're like kind of talking, are like, yeah, I told you would have a little bit of a wager. 25 gold work for you? And Gil would be like, yeah, it's a little bit light, but sure, let's go for 25 gold.
I'll also take that bet. Sack yells up from the. I'll get in on that action.
Would Zach hear it?
Probably.
like,
Zach's
this
got an 18 perception, passive perception.
You know
He's
what?
hearing
Let's give
everything.
it to him. Let's give it to him.
All right.
Yeah, I'll get in on that if you'd like to double that up.
Sack, the richest of the party,
How is he rich?
because he made some
From
bets
gambling.
in the last game. The dude walked out with almost 1,500 gold.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew we
And a
were
cool-
best
and a
friends for
cool
a
item.
reason.
He's willing to take a risk, man. And he got a lot of gold and a really cool magic item.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll keep
Wait,
that
so
in mind.
who's Zach betting against then? Because Himbo's only
He's-
betting 25, and that's all he kind of really has to spend.
Yeah, he'll get in on that bet and put 25 on on Gilbert winning.
Himbo about to go down. It's fine. TC will fudge some money for you if we need to.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Well, presumably they're taking money on the other side, right? There's other.
Yeah, there's other
You
people
know.
who absolutely
Yeah.
are taking you guys up on your bets. So make it be what you want within reason. Himbo, how do we want to go about doing this fight? Because I think your two characters are at different levels.
Yeah. I mean, we'll take him as is. I mean, obviously, Himbo got a little bit stronger having gone to the fountain and, had that. But at the same time, he's honorable. He's not trying to kill somebody who's on the same side as him. He's not trying to, like, seriously hurt him. It's just, he's taking it as a light sparring match.
Then let's do it slightly different. Instead of doing damage hits, let's call it first to 3 hits or 5 hits. You can determine what.
Let's start with 3 because Gil's the type, if he loses, he'll go best,
down.
3
Yeah.
of 5.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
And then, I already explained Himbo's motivation. Gil's motivation, he has an axe to grind, right? He's going to fight a little bit dirty. So, like, he's willing to cheat a little bit, not
Okay.
be super honorable with the way that he fights.
I love that.
So, I mean, at least mentally there, like, Himbo's maybe at, like, a slight disadvantage despite being that higher level and that having, those higher stats in those areas.
Okay. I love that. Cool. Then I'll give it over to you. I'll throw on some battle music for us.
So wait, how am I doing this? It's best, we're saying best of 3, but what am I?
First and foremost, roll for initiative on each one of them. We'll see who goes first,
Alright.
and then we'll go back and forth rounds. Ooh.
Oh no. Oh,
no.
Jesus.
But I mean, Himbo also has the sword, but I don't think that really helps that much in the grand scheme, so.
All right, here we go.
So I guess Gil's getting first blood.
Yeah, Gil
or, first
gets
hit.
First strike. Yeah, go ahead and roll to hit.
All right, let's see here. I'll just do this as a. Ooh, that nat 20 though.
Oh, beautiful.
We'll count nat 20s as 2 hits. So basically, and let's just go 1-1, right? So like this sparring match, Gil swings his rapier and like very quickly stabs both of his shoulders, and then pulls back and he goes, "Are you ready?"
Yes, go, Gil! I knew you had it. Let's go.
I always knew he was so quick. Yeah, Gil.
Of course, I'm ready, friend. It seems like you've learned a thing or two in the past couple of however long it's been.
Gil will nod. I'll play Gil.
I mean, I'll do both. Of course, friend. It's I think I've gotten a little bit better, and I don't know where you've been over the past year and a half. All right, so then what do we need for
Yeah, go ahead
Next
and roll the
roll
hit
here.
for Himothy.
Let's see here.
As Himothy. A slow swing of the blade.
I'm just gonna, try and go for it, like swing, kind of like a little bit angry that Gil got the better of him on the first move. Ah! Just lets out like a loud groan, but I guess Gil's just able to dodge with his nimbleness there. You need to be a little bit better than that, friend.
Let's go for another strike from Gil.
All right.
Oh god.
Yeah, Gil. Get his ass, Gil.
Yeah, another hit. That's technically first to 3 already. What's Himothy's reaction in this moment?
Himothy's gonna, be like a little bit hurt, grab his shoulder where Gil got him before. Well, Looks like you won, friend. And he's just gonna concede to him at that point. He's not really the type to try and double or nothing.
After that, I think at that moment, seeing this, I don't have an NPC that would do this yet. From the top rope, like way above, you can hear someone say, "That fight was lame. Kurg, how about you show him a thing or two?"
Well, but if I must.
And then people kind of like pick up their bets again. I got 50 on Kurg.
Who's Kurg fighting? Timothy?
Gil.
Okay.
All right. So let me just resolve Himbo real quick. I'll lose 25 off of Himbo and give that 25 to Gil.
Cool.
Now, what are
Kurg
we fighting
and
until, Gil? You know, I don't want to kill you, of course, of course.
I think we'll do first to first to 3 hits, and I don't really need to bet against you, Kurg. We're just gonna spar for the sake of, getting better and practicing.
Okay, if you say so.
From the background, you hear like a little goblinoid figure go, "I bet Kurg's gonna kill him."
I don't know who to bet on here. I think Zach will put another 50 on Gil with an NPC who's gonna bet against him. No, you see,
The
Kurg
guy wants money.
Kurg is great and all, but I mean, unbridled rage isn't gonna come out here. It's the deafness from Gil. I'm telling you.
It's the goblin that's like, "I don't think so. I think he's just gonna get really, really bloodthirsty, hit super hard. Oh, it's gonna take
He's gonna gas himself. He's gonna
No,
get
I
fully
mean,
gassed.
If he does, I mean, that's kind of problematic behavior. I think they would have gotten rid of him by now if he does that. It is sparring after all.
You don't know him like I do." 50 it is.
I mean, I know him pretty well, but like, sure.
This goblin has like only seen him like around, never actually had a conversation with him.
You know what? No, you're right. Yeah, 50, sure.
You want to up the ante a little? How about 100? I guarantee you he's gonna kill this guy.
Yeah, 150.
150? Yeah, I got that easy. Yeah, I got that easy. And he like pulls out a whole pouch.
Deal.
All right, Kurg and Gil roll for initiative.
Oh boy.
Okay, it's happening again.
Yeah, Gil won too fast.
Shit.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
lost the gold.
Gil's a little bit, tired from his previous fight, so obviously, I think Kurg's able to get the upper hand on him, like, right from the jump.
So Kurg, go ahead and roll to hit.
Right, so Kurt's just gonna be like, you sure you want me to get angry here, Gil? Gil?
You're such a brute, Kurg. We're just sparring.
Oh, very well then. I won't get that angry, I guess.
I'm gonna force something. After he gets hit, he has to rage.
Has he been hit yet? He hasn't been hit yet, right?
He goes first. So as soon as like Gil taps him, he gets like super furious.
Sure. Okay, okay.
That
So
sounds
your,
right.
Your first one is just straight up.
Okay, so first attack, action then?
Yeah, do an action attack. Gil's AC is 18.
Oof, that's a big one. Well, haha. Oh no,
Oh,
that's my initiative.
Come on, Gil.
Is it two? It's 2 attacks per action, right? So you two?
We're just gonna do 1 and 1.
One.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep it simple. So
Okay.
he swings wide. Gil's really nimble. He just kind
Just
of
able to dodge very
Yeah.
easily, step out of the way, kind of parry, and able to just
Yeah,
stick,
there he
him,
is.
stick him with the pointy end.
Yeah, and Kurg, because you're not like really wearing armor or anything, it does actually kind of like scrape you. Don't take 16 points of damage or anything, because we're not gonna actually.
It's like I'm not
damage.
trying hard to
Yeah.
kill Kurg. Like he's my ally. I just went through all the shit in Ember Throne with him before.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that was 9 months ago, but sure.
But I mean, I've obviously worked with him since.
Yeah, you guys have been friends.
We're kind of like the odd couple. Like, yeah, you know, I can't stand his methods, but I still get along with him and respect him.
Yeah.
He's still a friend.
Kirk, it draws blood, and blood is his thing.
Ooh.
Kurg looks at the wound, and he slowly takes his hand and he kind of puts it towards it, and then he takes a look and sees it's his own blood, and he holds it close and smells it, and then all of a sudden you see his rage, I guess, pick up in his eyes, right? And
No one makes me bleed my own blood but me.
Right.
you asked for it, Gil.
Are you doing a reckless attack or just straight up?
Well, I mean, I think he has to at this point,
I
right?
think so, too.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Okay, so I just gotta remember how this all works again, because it's been a minute since I did this,
Roll
and I
an
wasn't
advantage, yeah.
expecting it. Is it roll an advantage? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Heavy swing of the blow comes down, and Gil, it's hard to miss, and so it like knocks into you. He hits you with the flat of the blade though, instead of the actual sharp end. Kind of knocks you off your stance a little bit, but you get to return.
Now, before we do that, I was gonna say, can I do a roll to see if Gil like sees the intent that Kurg has
Yeah, absolutely.
behind the way that he attacks? Because this is gonna determine the way that Gil responds. Whether he still thinks it's just sparring, or whether he's like, oh, Kurg kind of has this murderous intent. Let me go a little bit harder.
100%. Yeah, roll insight. He thinks it's sparring.
All right. So no maneuvers, no kind of like those little bonus things that I get. I'm just gonna roll just the straight attack on the rapier, and
You get advantage.
Yeah, you do
'cause
get
he's
advantage.
reckless.
Yeah.
With a 21
Okay.
gonna hit.
21 hits anyway, but yeah, you
Yeah.
do get advantage, yeah.
Yeah, same thing, right? He's like, you're strong, but I'm quicker. Just kind of another stab, and where do you think he would try and hit this time, Gil?
Again, if I think we're still sparring, I'm obviously not going to be going for somewhere that I think
Vital
would like
areas,
actually
yeah.
hurt him, but like enough to have like a little bit of a wound. Maybe I'm not trying to like draw blood, but at least like kind of draw out that I'm like able to kind of get the point a little bit in the sparring match.
Yeah. Yeah, as to say, like he hit his upper thigh or something, which is enough to like just again not necessarily draw blood, but it pinches and
Kind of like
Kurg-
counting coup with the like the tip of my rapier a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to hurt him. It's like I think I'm trying to get the point in like fencing.
Right, exactly. Kurg, it surprisingly hurts. Even though he didn't draw blood, it's like, and maybe because he's in this range, he doesn't feel it or anything this time. But it's your turn again.
All right. Well, Kurg is I mean, he's definitely been hit again, but he is in a rage, and he is just going to recklessly attack once again.
Yeah, these are heavy blows. Gil, once again, it smashes in and kind of like knocks you off your balance, but you're able to like duck and roll into it. And again, once again, return. You get an advantage.
And I'm also gonna do the same thing again.
Do some
See,
insight.
because
Yeah.
do an insight to see.
Oh yeah, now he knows. Now he's getting it.
So now he knows. So now like Gil's actually gonna be, and I gotta remember what Gil's capable of doing here, because I got a few of these that I'm able to use at my disposal. Plus I'm already at advantage, so I know that I'm going to use one of these up front. It's the precision attack, where I'm able to expend a superiority die and add it
Okay.
to my attack roll, causing the attack to hit.
Yeah, I love it.
And that's going to be a 1d10 So let's see here. Let's roll the rapier, and I get advantage. So 2 of those.
Oh,
He's dead.
I don't even need that.
Yeah, you don't.
That other attack.
But I think what I'm gonna say is because you declared it, roll it, because we're gonna see what happens when he rolls over a 30. Yeah. So you roll a 33 to hit your buddy. I think with a 33, he's fast, but also he maybe hits harder than he intends to, and so you like completely pierce through Kurg on that one. So Kurg, you do take more damage. You start realizing you're bleeding, but that's the end of the match. He's technically won. Does Kurg stop? Maybe did.
No, I was just rolling dice
Okay.
in the dark, and I had to figure out what it said. Kurg rears back and swings again.
Yeah, he hits again. This time, Gil, it hurts, and you take the full points, full 10 points of slashing damage because it like catches you just in your midsection. You're not able to duck out of the way all the way.
Yep,
What do you
got
do?
it. So one thing I'm gonna see is, does Himothy, like watching this, kind of notice? And I can roll a perception for that to see.
I mean, he'd be watching the fight, right?
But does he notice like the fact that like there's actually kind of like drawing damage? And I guess with a
Do
9,
that as
we'll
an
say
insight versus just
insight.
perception.
Okay, sorry.
You're fine. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Himbo's not doing anything.
does Zach clock that this is like getting serious?
With your 18 perception, you can also roll an insight. I mean, your passive insight's also kind of up there, isn't
15.
it?
Yeah.
I think so. I think you're kind of like picking up, like, oh no, this turned into a real fight.
I think yeah, Zach turns to it was a goblin, you said?
And he's
He's
like,
like-
yeah, kill him.
He's like, first off, money. Second off, I saw this happen once before, and I think Zach just like rocks the hammer back on the pistol, but like puts in a round without an actual bullet. So he's essentially just gonna fire a blank
Okay,
and just fire into the air and see if he can like snap Kurg out of it,
do a distraction.
because
attack.
he is not gonna get in Kurg's way.
Smart. Yeah, let's, the goblin says, nah, he's still fighting. He's gonna go down. It's not over yet. It's not over until this guy dies.
You have a problem.
We'll say with your shot, call that a persuasion against Kurg. Your just call
Not
it-
very persuasive.
Well, between
Oh.
that, it's also Gil, because Gil's kind of like the next one up right now, and like whether or not like he kind of notices that shot going off.
I mean, it's a
like,
gunshot
whether or
like right next to you guys either way.
Yeah, I mean, you hear the gunshot. The question is like, does it entice Kurg enough to stop him from like a rage? Obviously, Vol, you can
Yeah.
decide for your character if you want to do that as like an opposed thing. You can. That's up to you, though. I'll let you.
I kind of want to roll for it, but I'm just trying, like, what's the thing for like if he doesn't attack or whatever? Isn't it like a roll to see if he stays in rage or something? Isn't it something like that? Like, what would like a roll for that
If you
be?
don't attack or don't take damage, your rage ends.
It just ends, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
you can-
so would it like a con save then? I want to say.
I don't know if it's a con save. It's more like a concentration check, right?
Okay.
What is it?
Is that just a D20 then? Is that just a straight D20?
I think it's your D20 plus whatever your intelligence modifier is.
Okay, so I don't know how this was. Okay, I want to roll. I'll roll this one here. I feel this one. I need to. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah. Kirk doesn't not noticing, getting ready to attack again if it's his turn.
Well, it's Gil's turn.
Yeah, I don't know whose turn it is.
It's Gil's turn.
It is
I
Gil's
just
turn.
I just interjected and have Himothy see like whether or not he'd noticed before Gil ended up attacking. But I mean, Gil obviously like actually getting hurt, losing 10 HP there, is kind of gonna drop out of it a little bit, and try and persuade Kurg like, hey, buddy, like, oh great, you win, like, well, like we don't need to keep going, like it's enough.
Whoa! So you're gonna basically just forfeit your turn to speak.
Yeah, at that point,
Okay.
because like I'm not trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to kill him.
Right.
And obviously, it seems like he at this point's doing the same.
Yeah. So Kurg, with that 20, what do you do?
Well, that was on like the
The blast,
gunshot,
okay.
right? So
Cool.
this is I think this is now what this is him again trying to appeal to him, right? So is there like another
Snap
opposed
up.
roll here, or
Yeah, do persuasion versus and I just googled it. It is a con save technically, so you get to do a regular con save for concentration check. So you get to beat a 14.
I feel a con save is almost too strong, but I'll do it anyway.
It
Okay,
doesn't matter.
perfect. I lost.
Fail. Oh yeah, your constitution.
I didn't like that it was a +6. I was like, that feels really strong for this, but
What the
okay.
mechanic is.
I know. I'm glad I lost that. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So Kurg, kind of hearing that, kind of coming from Gil here, that that this was. He's just kind of light up and like, oh, so sorry, Gil. My rage came over me. I apologize. So sorry. And then he gives him a hand and picks him up or whatever.
I mean, Gil's gonna one hand's gonna be like rubbing like whatever body part kind of took the hit, but the other hand's gonna just grab Kurg, give it a little bit of a handshake, be like, it's all right, buddy. I know it's a good asset when we need it, but now wasn't the time.
Yeah, sorry. I just it just came over me. Apologies.
Tinka will put a hand on both of them and do 2 cure wounds.
Okay, perfect.
Jack will just look over
That's the
to
first one on whoever is the least healed.
to the goblin and just like punch him in the arm.
Yeah, the guy was
Just
like, shit. I thought he was gonna die.
And I mean, Himbo obviously would have jumped in with lay on hands and healed the two of them as well for whatever needs healing. Like that's up to whatever.
Yeah, you guys don't have to mark this stuff off because there's about to be a downtime where you can recoup
Amazing.
everything.
What are the rules of the fight pit?
It's basically like a first to 3 rounds. You just had to hit 3 times.
Oh,
Yeah, Gil won.
Yeah.
hey,
Gil-
Yeah.
Stack, you wanna round?
Sack sheepishly, as a bird man can look, looks at you and goes, melee combat isn't necessarily my thing.
Mine
But-
either. You wanna do some not hand-to-hand sparring?
I mean, I don't want to shoot you. That seems very counterproductive.
I don't mind shooting you.
This-
They didn't mind hitting each other. We'll be fine. And it's awfully bold that you think you could hit me.
It's awfully bold you think I couldn't.
So, do we have a deal? Would you like to?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. And he
And then,
reloads his used
hey,
round.
guy that does the betting, I'll put 50 on myself.
Okay.
Anyone
You
gonna
guys-
take 100 on me?
you guys could basically bet against each other if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do 50
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the goblin will say side bet. And he goes, "I think you're going down. I got 100 against you.
Against
I
you.
gotta. Yeah, against which one? Me?
I bet against you, Zach, because you're talking shit, and he's got to win some of his money back."
you
Yeah,
are you are so strong-headed. I'll put 100 more on myself.
Oh, that's so
gonna
stupid.
be great.
I wouldn't. All right, initiative.
Yep, initiative first.
Okie dokie.
Oh,
All
fuck.
Yeah, you are dead. Okay, hold on. So it's just whoever hits 3 times?
Whoever hits 3 times, I know what's coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a 4th level magic missile. It doesn't miss.
It doesn't miss.
Oh, does that count as 3 hits?
It does.
It's 4. It's 5. How many are my? There's 3. So 1, 2, 3, I win.
No, actually, I'm gonna burn a luck point and impose disadvantage.
It
doesn't
that
matter. It
would-
hits.
Yeah,
That's not gonna- okay.
magic missile
Fuck.
auto hits.
It always hits.
Yeah, Tika's dirty. Tika fights real
Yeah.
dirty.
All right, so now do I get 100 gold? Yeah, I'm so sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, so 100. Well, I think it's 50 that Zach bet you, and then he has to give 100 to the goblin. So basically,
I'm not gonna give the goblin shit. I'm gonna look at the goblin and go, double or nothing. I can shoot anything you want me to. That was bullshit.
That was bullshit. I'm gonna take the 50 gold extra that I just won, but give him a way to earn his back, because he didn't know I was about to screw him over.
The goblin
Let him
says,
fight literally anyone else.
the goblin says, "What do you got in mind? What do you think you could shoot?"
Literally, name something. It doesn't have to be in here. That seems really like
Yeah, I got an idea.
unsafe.
He goes,
But
"Follow
yeah.
me," and he takes you to the top deck. He points at a bird like 150 feet away, and he's like, "Take that one out."
Okay.
Okay, wait, hold on. We can work with this. How close can I get to the bird?
You get to try and protect the bird.
No, I'm gonna try and fuck up the bird so he gets his money back. Oh my god.
Can I? If I'm outside my max range, is that disadvantage?
Yeah, it's just imposed a disadvantage.
Okay. Well
Check
then,
the
yeah,
AC
I'll burn
of a
a luck
bird.
point. I'll burn a luck point to make it a straight roll. Then, okay, I just gotta hit a bird.
Yeah. The challenge rating is 0, and the armor class is 13, so you have to beat it 13.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I think
Thank you,
Sack
freaking
just
crap.
goes, seriously, that's kind of fucked up, man. And then unslings the musket and goes, well, we're probably not related. And there's just a clash
God.
as the musket goes off, and it just turns into a puff of feathers.
Yeah, just puff of feather and red mist.
Yeah.
The
I think
goblin
he's gonna
goes,
get it.
the
I
goblin
think he's
goes,
gonna get it and use Firebolt.
what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna cook it.
You're gonna cook it while it's
Yeah,
falling
we-
100 feet off the edge of the ship?
Oh, it's falling off. I guess I won't cook it.
Yeah, no, this is
Oh,
it's
okay,
a
no
flying ship. This bird is 150 feet off of the edge of the ship. So now it's just
Well,
kind of
that's
like
gonna hit
falling down. And the goblin goes, "Ugh, I should have chosen something closer."
You can do closer, too. That's fine. I mean, we can keep doubling the bet.
Yeah, how about that one? He like points up, and there's a bird like directly above on the mast.
Okay. Without reloading, I think Sack unholsters the pistol.
Yeah.
And just absolutely fucking explodes the second one.
Same thing.
Oh.
You just hear like a as like this tiny bird body falls to the deck, and he goes, "Here's your 300 gold," and he like tosses it to you, and then he like grabs the bird and runs below deck.
All right.
Well, do you feel bad about that at all?
I mean, it's not my favorite, but money's
Mhm.
money.
Yeah, money's money. That's why I magic missile you. Money
Yeah.
is money.
No, that was smart. I'll keep that in mind for when we're
Yeah,
not fighting one another.
Don't. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I probably couldn't have beat you playing fair, and I think you have more money than me, so it seemed fair.
That's why I said I don't want to actually shoot you, because I was gonna actually have to shoot you.
I knew you weren't going to.
I mean, I would have, but you hit me 3
if
times.
we can. You want to do it again without magic missile?
Yeah, I'll still shoot you 3 times. Yeah, if you want.
I don't want to get shot today. I am a mother.
Yeah, it's again counterproductive.
It was different when I knew I was going to win.
I am
Understandable.
a mother.
I'm a mother and a cheater.
I knew
Same.
exactly what was coming.
How could I resist? But I feel bad because even out of character, he had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
He didn't know
No, that
anything
was
about
good.
my
That was
character.
good.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh man, that
And
was
she's chaotic.
great. She is chaotic. She has no problem cheating. Yeah,
And lying.
and lying. Don't look at that now, but that's a SNL video. Oh no, it's not. It's a bad link. Of
This is no video. It worked for me.
okay. Well, it's a
Okay, guys.
SNL clip of Fred Armisen playing a mom, and he goes, "I am your mother," which I can't not hear whenever Bridget says, "I'm a mother."
I'm a mother. Oh yeah, Mercy, giving Tinka a child was a mistake.
I
It's
can
gonna
take
be
it away.
great.
That's easy.
No, you can't kill the
I
child.
could do anything. I am the
It's
DM.
sent by Tetris to save the world.
Interesting take
He is
on
the
what
DM.
literally
He can do
didn't come
things.
from that story, but sure.
I know we talked about this.
I mean, we all know that Apollos' player character is Tetris, so
That's why I speak sometime in that really low voice.
I'm Tetris.
I am Tetris.
See, she's saying the same thing.
That feels oddly blasphemous for some reason. Anyway, so you guys have a little bit more time before you have to like go actually do anything at the back of the ship. Do you want to gather supplies, or do you need to talk to anybody, get anything from Ignara, or vice versa, sell anything to her?
Is
Yes.
that the enslaved woman?
She is the woman who is in indentured servitude. Yes.
And
the
she's
Earth and
not
Fire
bringing that.
Ganassi.
Zach would like to go see Ignara.
Yeah, Tinka's going with.
Cool.
Himbo would go with as well.
Yeah, I don't think Leon has much to sell or whatever, but I guess if everyone else is heading there, he'll come too.
She's so cool.
Yeah, she has this little shop on the top floor, and it's kind of set up with like mostly trinkets and all manner of things that she has collected, and so a lot of the stuff that you guys got as Gil and Kurg and Sack from the Paragon stuff, it came through her, right? So like things that she could peddle around with or redistribute or whatever. So like that, the idea of the Enclave is like she is as much a shop as anything else. She sells things, but also if there's like a way in which she can take properties, magical properties from things that are found and imbue them in other things, she will do that. Sometimes it's at a loss, like certainly one of the items is destroyed, but then like not all the properties come over, but some of the properties. That's kind of her whole gig. Is she's like this arcane artificer type who has a lot of skill in magic and magical goods.
And she's freaking cool.
But you go see her, and she sees you, Tinka, and she's like, "Oh my god, I thought you were dead."
That's gonna take more than that to kill me. She's gonna pull out the pictures. I'm a mom.
Oh my goodness, she's so cute. She's adorable. She looks just like you.
Thanks. Yeah, she looks like her dad more. You know, the whole dragon. Oh yeah.
What, a dragon?
No, she's got a dragon toy. She loves that thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dragon
Little
toys. I
stuffed
mean,
Mhm.
yeah, of course. What is this? She kind of like points to the scales, and she like, is she wearing something? What's going on with that? What's that?
Yeah. She really loves dragons, so we made her this little cloak made out of like, it's like this shiny fabric, but it kind of looks like scales.
Yeah. So you did you do some low level enchanting on it? Like, I know that's something
Our
you're working with.
artificer friend helped.
Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. I love creating stuff like that.
Well, one day I can't wait to introduce you to my friends once we. She stops talking and starts writing on a piece of paper. Any news on your condition?
She reads, and she gets like kind of a solemn look on her face, and shakes her head no.
Tiggle will just say, "Don't worry, I'm still working on it."
She nods as like a thank you.
So what do you have for sale?
All manner of things I have, and she like pulls out a collection of potions, a couple different things here, your standard healing potion and greater healing potion. I also have like a couple different spell scrolls. These are not used, but we could easily create something if we wanted to. I have this. She pulls out this kind of like greenish colored potion. She goes, "It's a potion of climbing," which is kind of cool. I've been working on similar things, but I'm not the most adept when it comes to potion making. she kind of points over to the back of the store, and you see a similar. I don't remember who has it, but like the cloak of billowing that's made of the captain's jacket. She has like an actual cloak version now. That's got the same kind of enchantment where it's just like even on the mannequin, it's like waving. She has she pulls up this rope and she goes, this is really cool. It's a rope of mending, and she like takes out a knife and like cuts it in half, and it like magically sews itself back together. She goes, it can't be broken. This is really awesome.
What
Oh,
is
that
it?
is cool.
Red?
It's called a rope of mending. Basically just a magically repairing rope.
So it's if I used mending on a rope.
Mending only works if it's less than like a foot or whatever, 3 feet, something like that. It has to be like within a certain threshold. The enchantment on this is like for the whole rope. So if it's like cut in the middle of this 50-foot rope, it would mend back together. Where like mending is.
How much? Also, so a couple things. How much is that coat?
The coat. I should have prepared costs for these.
Because it's eccentric and I need it.
75 gold.
All right, I'll think about it. Second, you said you're not the best with potions, but that means you have some understanding of potions.
I do.
Tinka is going to clink down all the potions she stole.
Oh God.
I have these half identified. Do you want to take a whack at it?
I can. It'll probably take some time. Are you okay to leave them here and then?
Absolutely. It feels dangerous to use them when I don't know what will
see.
happen, and I don't want to carry them anymore.
Totally understandable. Yeah, leave them with me. I'll do some study, and next time you come back, I'll tell you what properties I can gather from them.
Yeah, and things that I don't think will be useful, I'm happy to let you have if I can get a discount on that coat.
Absolutely. Yeah. How about 25 gold, and I'll just kind of plan to keep 3 of these regardless. How does that sound?
Absolutely, have 25 gold.
Okay. Well, awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So on Tinka, what does this coat look like since she is not human sized?
So it's kind of large. It kind of like goes all the way down to your feet. Except because it's billowing, it just kind of like floats out behind you. It doesn't actually touch the ground. It just looks
So it's kind of like a cloak, like a gown.
Like a cape. It's like a Superman cape that won't stop flowing.
What color is it, and can it be green?
Yeah, it can be green. Sure.
Beautiful. It's a lovely forest green,
Yeah.
and now she's so much more extra.
She is quite extra. It makes like a
She
constant.
matches Gil now.
Yeah, Gil has one too. Something similar.
And also in that dark green color, because the Emerald Enclave.
Right. Except his is a captain's jacket, right? So it like looks more like a
I have the photo.
pirate jacket, yeah.
But mine
Except
looks more eloquent because it's full body.
Yes, mostly.
Except I think Gil's we're gonna say Gil's
I
is more
love
like
that.
dark green
Yeah.
rather than like the blue
Blue.
specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's neat.
But I mean, Gil's not there, so he's not doing the thing.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna have a billow off in a little bit, like an anime rival.
She continues to show you around the shop. She has a couple other things. She pulls out this this thing called a drift globe, and tells you that it's an enchanted item that allows you to cast daylight.
Ooh. How much is that?
This one runs. Unfortunately, it's a little bit on the high end. It's about 500 gold.
She's gonna turn to everyone and say, "Do you think that will help us fight in the corruption where everything is kind of like dark?"
Yeah, so in my experiences, anything with radiance and light, and it always helps against Morrigan and her minions. I think that would be a great investment. I have some gold, but I don't
I can
have
put
enough.
100 in.
I think I have like, he was digging in his pockets, like 44. He says.
Oh gee. Where did all your money go, Leon?
I made a pilgrimage, and along the way, I was saving all of the poor and the homeless, and I was rebuilding in the devastation that Morrigan brought, and I gave everything away.
Tinka just looks at Zach and rolls her eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, Himbo being there as well, being on like half of Leon's adventure, like into Olpathia, is gonna be like, yeah. Plus, I mean, it's expensive to survive. Like,
Yeah, it's not cheap out there.
No, I definitely gave a very large diamond to a needy church.
Oh
Absolutely.
my god.
Yeah.
Leon, now what happens if we die?
Well,
Ooh,
a good
that's a good
question.
question. Yeah.
I'd come back as a shit lord.
Yeah, by the way, we might want to find some diamonds for that too, by the way.
well,
I
that's
smell a
wishful
heist.
thinking.
Maybe
Not a
about
dwarf. I'm a gnome. I don't mind.
300 golds worth or so, give or take.
I'm sure we
But,
could find one to pilfer.
Well,
No.
wishful thinking.
Right. Yeah, not on the ship.
Well, we might. I don't think I have anything.
But
to trade with.
I do think something that could cast daylight would really help. Perhaps I know you made a deal for some of these potions. Maybe once the rest of them are identified, maybe we get some more credit towards it, or maybe there's something else we could do. But yeah,
much
we,
was
we
it
should
again?
be.
Willows and says, "I can't justify giving this back, but I can part ways with some potions. Because how many did I steal? Like 13,
11.
11. Yeah, I'll split them with her. But the only thing I ask is if there's anything radiant or anything healing that we keep those ones.
She says, I'll tell you what. If you let me keep all of them, you can take this with you now, as we'll just call it a credit type exchange. When you come back, if there are specific potions you want, you can purchase them back from me. How does that sound?
Great. It sounds like I will break even pretty much on the
Yes.
money I put into those,
Absolutely.
and everything should be fine.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. You can have a drift globe.
Thank you. All right. Well, Leon's not getting that. Timothy. I feel
Yeah,
yeah.
give it to
Give it
someone
to
who-
Timothy.
Like Leon can do radiant on Q at any
Right,
time, so give it to
and
someone
but-
else who doesn't. Yeah.
Zach and I are not going to be in the middle of battle. You know.
Yeah, ideally, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not going to be in it either. So it's got to be you or Timothy. And if you already can do that,
Well,
then
I think it's the spell daylight, right? You said.
Yeah, so the small fear
Yeah,
of
you don't have to be in battle for that.
thick, I'll just read it to you. If you are within 60 feet of the drift globe, you can command it to emanate light equivalent of the light or daylight spell, your choice. Once used, it can't be used again until the next dawn, so you get one a day.
And what is that, a
Okay.
bonus action?
I'm gonna say yes, it doesn't specify.
Okay.
And so to use it, we would have to be within 60 feet of where we want to cast it.
You just have to be 60 feet within it. So like if Timothy had it on him, he could cast it. I'm reading this. If you move more than 60 feet from, you can basically cause it to hover with an action, a magic action. You can tell it to hover, and then he can move.
It
out
has
of
a
that space.
It's
And
a
it has a
60-foot
60-foot
range
sphere.
on it, so like you can cast it from wherever. Like you don't have to be within battle to cast
No,
it,
it's
and
so-
it's like an AOE spell for anything.
So
it's
because
it's a
an
target in 60
item,
feet.
yeah, because it's an item, you're casting it on the item. The item, it's
Oh,
it's gonna
on
be
the item.
centered on
Oh,
the
okay.
item.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, think
Okay,
of it
then
as just
I
like
don't care. Whoever wants.
glowing fat flashlight, and then you can command it to hover.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't. Whoever wants to take it.
Oh, Timothy's probably a good one. I think probably right.
I mean, I can see in the dark. I don't necessarily need it, but I mean, if someone
That is
wants it,
not
they can
what
have
it's
it.
for.
I don't know. If you want me to take it, I'll take it.
Timothy, pay attention.
I added it to your your inventory, Timothy.
Surely this won't go.
If any of the spell's area overlaps with an area of darkness created by a spell level 3 or lower, the spell's dispelled. Anyway, continuing on. The bottom part of that spell.
Okay.
It's fine.
I don't see a spell anywhere for the record.
You have to
Here, let
look
me-
up the light spell or the daylight spell to know what he's talking
Oh,
about.
I see. Yeah, I don't care.
It's fine, whatever.
All right, I got other gold. What else you got?
Those are. How much do you have? I hate to ask, but I don't want to go into great
I
detail.
have 150, but I think Sack has a lot. My bird friend here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have a couple questions for spending myself, but please do
Of
tell.
course. Yes, I mean she kind of like points over to a little bit of a weapon rack, and you see just kind of just some standard looking like slightly less mundane things, basically +1 weapons of most kinds. She pulls out this javelin. She says, this is a javelin of lightning. When you throw it, it basically becomes a lightning bolt, which is very cool. And she puts it down and she holds up this dagger that's kind of got like a black blade. And she goes, the dagger of venom. It can poison a target once a day. And she kind of like says, this is very dangerous. And she like gingerly puts it back down. And then she says, you don't seem like much of the sword type. And she kind of like looks back, and there's like this glistening, gleaming sword behind her. She goes, the moon touch sword. It glows in light. It glows with light if it's in dark. But that doesn't seem so much like yours. She has a couple other things. A pearl of power, a quiver that you guys have seen once before. Looks to no longer be in the possession of a former ranger that you knew. She pulls out this candle, and she goes, this is fun. A candle of the deep. You can light it and it remains lit even if underwater.
Well, Himothy can see in the dark, so.
Perfect. Perhaps not
Yeah.
needed.
I don't think any of us can swim. Is the other thing.
I see. Well, perhaps, and she like looks back to the spell scroll. She goes, perhaps if you needed like water breathing, we could work that up. It takes a little time to transcribe, but I could work something up like that for you.
Am I able to cast that on other people or only myself?
You can cast it on whomever you want to. It's you basically become the caster. It's not necessarily for yourself. You could cast it on another.
This is so I would like transcribe it into my own spell book and know the spell.
Is it a wizard spell?
I think so. I'd have to look. Oh, spell of like what? Water breathing?
Yeah. Water breathing,
You
5e.
can go on. It might take me a minute.
Yeah, it is. Artificer, Druid, Ranger, Sorcerer, and Wizard.
Heck, I'm 2 of those things.
Yeah. 3rd level transportation, so you'd have to learn it as a wizard, because your Artificer level isn't high enough.
Yeah. I could do that. I have stuff to get rid of. How much would you want to transcribe it over to my book?
Googling?
I also get half price materials. Alright, die. Okay, alright, sorry, I started joking.
For materials and stuff, she'd try and like just include that into 500 GP to do a transcription.
Okay, then I won't be doing that.
It's always an option later. That I would do that for you though, just for the material costs, which we'll call 500 GP.
Okay, I'll get back to you on that. For now, I think I'm okay. Sack,
Okay.
your turn.
Yeah. Hi. Nice to meet you. I think we met in passing when
Yes.
we came back from
Good to
the
see you again.
Ember Throne stuff. Yeah. I hope things got redistributed well.
Yeah, of course.
And I
always.
hope, I hope that glove that Kerr wasted was rechargeable in some way.
Yes, actually, and she pulls it back out. She goes, no one has taken it yet. I still have it. You can use the charge once a day. I don't know why he would have wasted it when he did. However, I've been able to empower it with some of the same Ethereum cores that we use for the ship. And so it is absolutely rechargeable.
Oh, good to know. That's very interesting. Maybe that's maybe that's something we talk about, but maybe something a little hard to find. You see, I like to be quiet,
Hmm.
but this armor keeps me alive, but it doesn't keep me quiet, and that's kind of an issue. Do you have anything with good coverage that is quieter than this half plate? Uh, I've been told and I've read that mithril is something of an interesting material to craft armor out of, but I don't know how rare that is. Do you have anything like that could solve that issue?
It is quite rare. I don't have. I don't think I have any in stock. It's something I can always be on the lookout for. I do have, and she kind of like pulls out these boots. They're like elegantly crafted leather boots that have like elvish looking design on them. She goes, perhaps something like this. Boots of elven kind, she calls them. They give you advantage on if you're trying to be quiet. They silence your footsteps. So the mechanic is advantage on stealth. In your case, would make it a straight roll.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Well, that's interesting. How much would those be?
Expensive.
She also used to have that, but it ended up going to Himothy.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah, the half plate. I forgot about that.
And that's the one that he wears with the tree emblem on it and the Roman numerals around the waist.
Nice.
Okay, 2,500 GP is what she tells you. It's a little costly. She says, though, it's possible. Unfortunately, like these are the ones that are also quite hard to come by. Something that I could potentially do if interested, because it seems like you're wanting to be able to retain protection. If that's the case, I think I could try and do something similar with making your plate, your half plate, quieter. It would still probably be about 2,000 gold to do, and it would take some time. But possibly another option.
What would that entail, and how long would it take?
It would take me probably 2 weeks to take to actually complete the work that goes into it. There's a couple items that I would have to procure, which is why the cost is a little heavy. But I could send for them now if that's something you're interested in, and I'd basically just front the cost until such a time as you're ready. And then when you come back, if you have additional downtime, I can get to work.
I mean, yes, that sounds fantastic, but 2 grand in 2 weeks is
I
an
understand.
interesting. Yeah, it's tough right now. Maybe I'll keep that in my back pocket. Do you have maybe a shield or something? If I'm not going to be quiet, I can at least be a little harder to hit.
Sure, yes, a shield. I do have a shield, and she pulls up a +1 shield.
Yeah, that would do the trick. What would that run me?
Googling all the things. 1,500.
So, have you ever thought about wearing leather armor?
No, no, God, no. I would die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, me too, but you just gotta pray.
I wish it worked like that. Yeah, you know what? I'll take it.
Okay.
Can I? Is there anything you can do on that price, or is that already like really aggressive?
It's a little up there. I tell you what, make me a persuasion check, and I'll just do this as an opposed roll.
Persuasion. Wow. Maybe. I'm gonna burn because I have a fucking +0 to persuasion. I'm gonna burn one of my luck points
Okay.
and roll that at advantage.
I gotta beat this.
Actually,
with
no.
13. Should have said anything.
I was gonna say, should I give her disadvantage, but I already rolled it.
You can give her disadvantage if you want to. I saw your first one first, so. And then
Yeah,
this
I mean, it's gonna be hard to not beat those. So forget it. I'll pay full price. It's fine.
Okay.
1,500.
Yeah, I rolled a 13 and a natural 20.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now he
Now
has a
it's more
reasonable amount
expensive.
of money.
Yeah, I mean it's a useful shield, right? It's lightweight. It is a +1 shield, right? It's gonna make your AC go crazy. I mean, your AC is already kind of high, so it's gonna go crazy.
Yeah. Now it's 21.
Right. It's like nearly
Yeah.
impossible to get hit.
Yeah, that's the point. I don't want to die. That first fight taught me that I need to be
almost
hard
dying.
to hit.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But I
That's
mean,
fair.
then you also run into like the tank paradox. So
Yeah.
Uh, cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Perfect.
The downside is if you use your musket, you have to put it away, so your AC goes down. So you'll have to like
Yeah.
delineate between the two. Which one are you using?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's okay. The musket's really just going to be for range because it's not souped up yet.
Right. Yeah, it's just a plain musket.
Yeah.
If you talk to her about the musket, she tells you there might be something that she could do, but it's again, it takes time. If that's something you'd want to look into, then time and money. That's basically the
Yeah.
gist of it.
Would it be worth giving you a down payment on something now to get the ball rolling?
Of course, anything I can do to gather the required materials. Absolutely.
How much would be reasonable as a down payment?
It depends on what we're trying to do.
I want it to hit harder when I shoot someone. So use your imagination, go crazy. I know you're good at this.
Let's say 250 to begin gathering required materials. I have a few ideas in mind, and I'll give you some options when you return. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic. And I'll fork over another 250, and I am now under 200 gold, and I started it with almost 2,000. So yeah.
This is
Wow.
a solid day. Solid day's work.
Hey, I'm getting better stuff. That's fine.
I'm also glad we waited to RP this out a little bit versus just like giving you stuff, like do an
Oh, yeah,
exchange
agreed.
over Discord.
Agreed.
Cool. So what I'll do is I'll come up with a couple different options for you, OOC. We can RP that stuff out later.
Ooh, make it armor piercing. That'd be cool.
That basically would just be like a +1, +2, something like that.
Ignores armor. I just roll against your base AC with plus dex.
God.
Ooh, ooh.
It's helpful against actually armored creatures. I mean, I could do something like that. The question is like, what about natural armor, right? And it's
Right.
it's nothing.
Yeah.
May not be as useful as higher chance to hit. So I'll give you options. We'll come up with something.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So, friends, we have seen multiple fights and now bartered, and we said we'd meet that guy back in an hour. You guys want to head back over there? Is there anything else you want to do?
The only thing that Himo's going to add on the way out is like, and Ignara, I've considered to think about your offer with respect to my sword, but I'm going to respectfully continue to decline.
I understand. The offer always stands. You can trust that it would be in good hands. With something as valuable as that, it wouldn't go anywhere it shouldn't go, shall we say.
I understand as well, Ignara, but again, you know, given the bond that I have with this sword, and Himo's going to think this to himself, like, especially considering I just got another shard over the past couple of months. Like, he's going to, you know, yeah, I'm going to, you know, respectfully decline, and, you know, I have a connection with this sword. I hope you know, understand.
You think that, and you hear from Elantari say, "Thanks, friend."
Himbo is also as well at that, just gonna like wrap his fingers around and like just give the hilt like a reassuring grip.
You feel like a weird warmth.
Can I make an investigation check to see if there's a single tear welling up in his eye? Because I'm going to.
Okay.
Like he's just having this weird loving moment by himself.
Sure. Timothy, we'll do performance, persuasion, or deception, either one.
Yeah, are you trying to hide it, or are you fully embracing those?
You know what? I'm just gonna give it to her. I'm not even trying to hide it. Like, I have a connection with this sword. Like, we've been through a bunch, and I've made promises that, like, hey, I don't know if maybe I have or haven't explained, like, this is like some other being and I'm trying to reunite its pieces. Like, this is one of my buddies and it protects me as much as I protect it.
Yeah, but I don't think we know that, so you just look like a weirdo. And so with that, we will bid you good day, and Tinka will slip a paper that says, "Don't lose hope. We'll be in contact soon."
She smiles and nods when she reads. Obviously, she can't respond. So,
Right.
you guys head to the rear end of the ship's butt. Kind of out towards the rear is a docking hold kind of place where you do see a couple other ships docked. One is more industrial, one is a little bit more streamlined. Where Fenwick is kind of over by the industrial one, and says, "This is the one we're taking." I'm not doing his accent right now. He says, "Let's hop aboard and go ahead and get underway, and then we'll meet the captain. We need to make time."
Okay.
Very good.
Let's go.
Reworked this ship as well.
Oh, nice.
I love AI. This stuff is so cool. Yeah, it's kind of it is this like hybrid between a steampunky kind of thing and also a sailing ship, with this large circular piece on the front of it, which I think we established in the other sessions, most likely for mining, or was originally maybe some kind of docking thing. Hard to say. You get on deck, and very quickly you hear the captain shout from where he is on the helm. It's time to go. Let's make way. And then the ship disembarks from the Aeolian by basically what you experience is like this big thud and rocking motion. I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw when the ship unlatches.
Nice.
Twinsies!
Like, roll all of your 20s now, because next game.
Yeah, right.
I was gonna say, not that it really matters, but I also have like the paladin thing that gives people a +3.
It's useful. Yeah,
+3.
it's useful.
Yeah.
Especially, does it use it on yourself?
I think we already added it into my
Okay.
+3, and I think I get +1 from the shield, so I'm 11.
Okay. You're the only one that's kind of like knocked on your butt a little bit. Everyone else that's standing nearby is able to kind of keep toes.
Zach and Tinka 100% anime pose.
Good thing you have wings.
Ah, yeah.
Timothy, it like knocks you to your knees, and so it, like, you have to actually get back up. But the ship it like drops, and you feel like this drop pretty quickly before you feel the Ethereum engines like rev up full blast, and then there's that hum just as it starts floating off. It is not nearly as fast as the Aeolian, but you very quickly divert course and start heading north from where you are. Once you get going, it's relatively smooth sailing. It's summertime ish at this point. What did I actually set up the month? Yeah, midsummer, the month of midsummer, which is a month in our campaign. The hunter, aka or the witch hunter, Fenwick, brings you over to the captain, who's standing on the deck. He's kind of stepped away from the helm, and is waiting to meet you. He says, "Alright, so there's a few people you need to meet, Landon. These are the Aeonborn. I don't know if that's what you actually want to go by. That's what the High Warden used to call you, so that's kind of what I've continued to call you. For the rest of you, this is Landon Ashford, who is... You're gonna have to go to his actual bio sheet.
Why is everyone hot?
AI. It's
Because
just what it
AI
wants.
Yeah, everything is hot. He's this well put together ship's captain, who's wearing this double-breasted like leather jacket, and he carries a pistol on his right hip. Sack, you recognize this almost immediately as the same type of pistol that you have. It's a Magitech pistol.
Very nice.
His isn't glowing blue though, like yours is. His is glowing with like a soft green kind of pulsation to it.
Ooh. Mine's more rare.
Yours is far less rare. yours,
Damn.
yours is the one everyone gets. It's made of
Oh.
Ethereum.
The
Wait,
rare
do an
system in this
insight
world
check
is
to see if he
backwards.
thinks-
Um,
He looks like Tom Cruise meets Adrian Brody. Sorry, that's it.
yeah, kinda. Yeah, he's modeled after the Rocketeer, Cliff Secord. If you've ever seen that movie,
I have not.
it's such a good movie. It's a Disney
Classic.
movie about a dude who's a pilot in the 1930s who's fighting Nazis.
Well,
Yeah,
that
and
sounds
then he
like
gets
it's
like a
something I-
rocket pack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's
has a
pretty
rocket
good.
It's awesome.
Mhm.
We'll
Alright.
watch that.
It was nostalgia anyway. It might not hold up. I'm not sure, but it was.
Such a good movie
Anyway.
though. Anyway, yeah, he's kind of standing on deck, and he has this very debonair type of pose when you all walk up, and he's like, "Here are the ones that are supposed to save us."
Something like that.
Well, welcome aboard. It's my goal, along with the rest of this crew, to at least get you to your destination safely. Our current intention is it's about 2 weeks travel time to Yarma, where we're headed. Feel free to do what you will aboard the ship. The ship is considered home. You'll be taken to your quarters. If you need anything, I'll be between here at the helm with my first mate. Outside of that, prepare yourselves. This will not be an easy journey once we reach the Yarman shores. Where we're headed is quite dangerous.
Okie dokie.
Sounds good.
2 weeks of travel. Okay.
Wonderful. Well, get accustomed. Travel aboard some of these ships can be a little rocky at times. Something you're not used to, just grab a railing. Otherwise, stay below deck. Again, if you need anything, I am here. Otherwise, we will be seeing each other as necessary. And he kind of like goes back and just walks away out of the conversation.
He was a nice guy.
He's very matter of fact.
Yeah.
He goes back to the helm and like quickly calls over a few other folks, the human man, an elvish woman, and then let's say an orc fellow, to kind of like give direction, things that they need to do. The rest of you, yeah, there's again, we're not gonna do downtime like we did last time. We're gonna fast travel. So if there's anything you think you would want to do during the 2 weeks, you can obviously tell me. But at this point, it's basically like speed around.
I was gonna say the only thing Himbo would do is check out with the engineer who's like running like the Ethereum engines of the ship, just to like have a conversation and get an understanding of this particular ship, given that he's like a tiny background in Ethereum airships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and for Leon, I just kind of want him just to bounce between, like, I guess whoever would be like the medic, just if anything needs to help out there, but then also just like any followers of Tetris, just like giving like a quick little service for them or whatever around the ship, just during the other moments.
Cool. Yeah, you find.
Tinka.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Every day, Tinka will call home to Viz and just check in and see how the baby's doing, which I'm sure is great because he's a fantastic dad. And then just work on blueprints she brought back with.
Cool.
For Sack, I think he's super interested in how like airships function versus ships on water. He's primarily from areas with ports. He's not unfamiliar with ships. I think he wants to get familiar with these because he feels like he's going to be spending a lot of time on them moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, so both you and Himothy, I think, do spend some time with the engineer, and then also probably on the top deck, kind of learning like this ship's maneuverability is a little bit different than the ones that Himothy's flown on before, being a little bit more industrial type ship. It has like literally a combination of like Magitech powered engines, and then also the sails are purposeful, like they actually do something. When he steers, it comes from the movement, not of a rudder, but of the movement of sails. And there's like a tail, that back end is a tail that kind of catches the wind in different ways. So navigating is a little bit more difficult because you still have to line with the wind. You need wind to catch the sails in such a manner that it can actually like push you in the direction you want to go. Otherwise, you just move forward. You and Himothy learn about the Ethereum ship, or the Ethereum engines. Himothy, it's basically like everything you've seen before, right? There are these Ethereum cores. They eventually run out of capacity. It takes a long time to do that, like a few weeks of travel, so they only ever really stock up on 2 or 3 of them because they're also highly volatile. And if they were to rock dangerously or be shot at, they would be quite explosive and most likely detonate an entire ship. So they're held in like separate kind of containment areas inside the same engine area. The engineer makes sure you know like not to do anything stupid and that you'll be watched heavily.
No, and obviously, like Himothy having like some working knowledge of it, like acknowledges, and it's like, yeah, obviously, I'm not gonna, screw with that. Like that's, necessary and a crucial component. And
Yeah.
Yep, I'm just here to, just talk shop with you a little bit, just
Yeah.
see how things are going with it and get an better understanding of this particular ship.
Yeah, the engine it's not like exactly what you would consider as like powerful. It's functional. Some of the ones that you've seen on like I don't know that you would have taken necessarily a luxury skyship in the first campaign, but you would have taken like a passenger skyship. And so like seeing the type of engine that exists there was not exactly like a workhorse type engine, as much as it was again functional for the carrying capacity, very heavy loads, compared to this, which is functional for even heavier loads, considering it's probably like a freighter, something like that.
Yeah, like a Honda gas engine versus like a Maserati, or like Ferrari gas engine versus like a diesel.
That's probably a better conclusion would be like the difference between an 18-wheeler and a bus. They're similar, but they have different construction.
Yeah, I was saying like the old Aeolian would be like, the Ferrari engine versus like the passenger is like the Honda engine versus this is like the Caterpillar diesel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this thing absolutely can carry a heavy load. Right now, because you're not carrying a heavy load, you expect it's moving faster than it probably can when it's fully laden. The crew on board, there's only like 15 of them aside from you guys, 20-ish total. They're relatively friendly in the time that you have. They're all very matter of fact. It's like they're paragons to a degree, but they're also crewmen of a skyship, and it seems like most of them have worked this type of job for a lot longer than they've been in any kind of like mission-minded capacity, and more than likely have either been conscripted or like hired to work alongside Landon. I can't call him Cliff. That would be stupid. Landon, who does seem to be a paragon.
But I mean, we've seen that before with the Enclave. Like we saw the couple of people left over that were like, yeah, we were just hired to do the ship. Like we're not really part of the cause.
Right. Exactly.
I think that was when Bramdom did his little disappearing act.
Yeah. Yeah. The Zafira and Six and the other guy, the furball guy. Yeah, the 3 of them were similarly just crew, right? And these people are again very crew oriented. They understand the purpose of it, but they're like, we're here for a job. We get money.
Right. Like
Leon, you do spend time with she's a surgeon, versus like a true medic. Like her experience is in like triage kind of capacity and not what you would consider like a full scope medical anything. So she treats a lot of cases that are like very minor diagnostic. They're lacking in diagnostics. You actually have more medical knowledge than she does. And if I didn't say this before, add medicine as a proficiency. It's been enough time. You have that.
Yeah, we did that. We
Okay,
did that.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have more medical knowledge than she does. She has more surgical knowledge, very specifically, right? Like how to suture wounds and how to heal
Mhm.
non-magically when someone's been blasted, by a pistol or whatever. It takes a large cable to the chest. Tinka, you call home, and Viz recounts all the stuff that Talisa's doing, which is basically just being a child.
Yes.
Nearing, she's a little, probably closing in on a year at this point.
She's perfect.
Yeah. Kuin and Khan, and she's showing signs of magic already.
Oh, and she'll save one of the last sendings to send to the baby and just be like, "Mommy loves you."
Yeah, you just get a bunch of babbling back.
I love that for me.
The ship's construction is a combination of wood and metal, and that's actually something you kind of noticed about the alien as well. It's like looks not quite the same kind of construction that is on a sailing ship, which is designed to float, because this is magically propelled and lifted. The materials are a little bit more strong, right? They're designed with a different purpose. So where it has some wooden accents and things where necessary, a large part of the construction is like sheet metal. Not that it matters.
Well, so Himbo's carpentry knowledge isn't going to be as applicable.
Correct. Yeah. A lot less useful. I mean, still some use around things like the mast construction and canvas, keeping the canvas and stuff. But yeah, for the most part,
But not as useful,
right?
right.
Yeah. A lot less useful.
Yeah.
2 weeks comes and goes. When you begin to hover over, you can actually see from a little ways out the continent of Yarma. You see on because the way you end up coming in. Let's drop you guys back on this map. The way you end up coming back in is from this direction. But where you're headed is kind of here. You see, as you enter some of this more forested area and you're coming in, these large black gates that have kind of like siphoned off part of one of the major ports in this area. I don't know if any of you are like traveled enough to know where this is. Might have been something you've like book learned about, but it's like one of the larger major ports in Yarma. Where you're heading to, though, this Ormrath place, as you sail and sky sail over the ocean, you can begin to see where what forested area there was is densely populated with blackened trees. Like the whole forest is just almost appears like shadow from above. You make your way over a large part of that forest, like miles of forest, and eventually get to a point where you can see a clearing with what appears to be like a larger town settlement type of thing. The whole thing covered again in black. And from where you are this high up, it's hard to get a good feeling for what it exactly looks like. Himothy, you've seen it up close at this point. Sack, you've seen remnants of this kind of thing, but mostly in beings, less in the actual like natural order of things. But like that black and red magic is everywhere. The witch hunter Finn comes to find you and says, suppose this is about as far as we're gonna get. We should probably prepare to disembark. We don't want to be here any longer than we have to.
No, probably for the best. We'll drop in and you guys steer clear here, and we'll see you on the other side.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm coming with you. I gotta show you where to
Yeah.
go. But I'll send.
Well, you know what I meant, like the rest of the crew.
Yeah, London's heading back. We're going to. When we leave here, they're not sticking around for safety purposes. There's no weapons equipped on that ship. It's merely a travel ship. Here, and he like hands out Featherfall tokens for each of you.
How do these work? Do we just crush them up?
All you need to do is jump.
Okay, Tinker jumps.
You fall about 20 feet, like free fall, and so for a second it freaks you out, but
Yeah.
then about that 20-foot mark, you just quick slow to a descent. When he
If
sees
there's
you go,
anything Tinker trusts, it's magic. So
when he sees you go, he says, "All right, time to go," and he starts like he jumps off himself and like makes sure everybody else is not far behind, because the ship's not like exactly hovering; it's like moving. So you jump out a little early, and wherever you jump, you basically go straight down unless the wind blows you.
okie dokie.
By the time the rest of you jump out, you're a little bit spread out. Let's see how much. Somebody roll for me a d12.
I got you.
Okay. So it's only about a 600-foot difference between where you guys all fall. The largest portion of distance is still navigating through trees and whatnot. You all kind of gather mostly where you land. Roll for me a d20 now, someone.
I'll get it.
Roll high. Okay. Yeah, you basically all end up in enough close enough area that you can regroup pretty quickly. It doesn't take much. The first thing you notice, though, while you're in this forested area, is this dense, thick vegetation. Himothy is the only one who's seen this so far.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty.
pretty gnarly.
It gives me the ick. Just because like Himbo's seen that before, like
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, nope, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Did Zach make a nature check, or would that not even be worth?
I'll say yes, depending on what you want to glean from it.
Just trying to understand, is this a symbiotic relationship? Is this
Okay.
parasitic? Is the tree even a tree anymore?
Good. Okay. Yeah. Nature, for sure.
Fuck me.
Hard to
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely, with a 9, I mean, you could definitely see that it's like wrapped specifically around the outside, unless you got like super close and did like an investigation around it. It'd be hard to tell much more. But what Finn told you was like most people have been afraid to get close, try to steer clear.
Wasn't the other
Actually-
issue that it's like a network that she can
Pop.
learn?
Very
from-
possibly, yes. If you were to like.
Zach will not get that close.
Okay.
Also, I was gonna
with-
say, I'm surprised I didn't do this in our little one shot, but I would have used one of it didn't actually display
Okay.
properly the divine sense on it.
Yeah. Divine Sense gives us what? I don't remember.
Hang on, I'm gonna just copy paste this because it didn't display as I wanted before. Presence of strong.
Yeah. Strong evil. You immediately like a strong noxious odor, absolutely. It is overwhelming, this whole area.
With Leon's experience with treating like the corruption of Viz and that sort of stuff, how much similarity is this like what he sees on the tree compared to like what he saw taking over Viz? Does it look the same? Is it something different? Like,
Make for a medicine check. Hard to say.
oh,
Since Tinka had a pretty like she was close up with Viz through all this, can she do a nature check and see if the trees resemble like the the corruption patterns that were showing up on his skin?
Instead of in nature, I'm going to have you roll an arcana.
I can do that. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, it is eerily similar, but something else comes to your mind versus just the corruption pattern. It's the monsters that you had seen once before, right? You had seen those gargoyle type beasts in a black form and then in a red form. And the magic that emanated from the red ones was far worse.
Okay, she'll explain that. Don't fucking touch it, okay?
Mm.
Fenwick, once he regroups with all of you, reiterates the same thing. Don't touch it. I think we're only a few hundred meters from where we need to go to enter the city. Perhaps at best, I just lead the way. I think I know where we're headed from here.
If you think so.
Don't touch
Lead the
anything.
way.
Avoid stepping on anything that could be even remotely like it. Just watch where you look. We're gonna go slow. And he starts to take you through. I'm gonna roll a. Actually, I'm gonna have one of you roll a d20 for me.
While
Were you
this is
monster roll?
happening, I just wanna. I think I have still. Do I still have? Yeah. Can Leon be like ready to help steady someone like who might be stepping on something with Mage Hand, like to like move their foot out of the way or to like get them away from like a vine that's about to droop down on them or something like
Giving
that.
a lot of credit to something that can only move 5 pounds.
Okay, fair. Never mind. Okay.
Can I ask this then? With my character's background, or I'm sorry, no, with my character's rogue subclass being scout, I have expertise with survival. And while Sack may not be familiar with this exact instance, maybe there's something he could do to help steady someone's crappy roll if we're all rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody do a round of stealth first.
Stealth?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Second.
Nice.
Nice. I was gonna say, do you want to give your help action or assist to Himothy?
Yeah.
Cool. Roll again, TC.
All right. Let's see here. Oof.
Not much better. I mean, as a group, you guys are doing fine. You're a little loud, but it doesn't seem to have caused much of an issue. The next thing, somebody just roll me a d20. I'm gonna have you roll as if it's Fenwick. I think
Right,
it's
hold
a
on. I got
+4
it.
for navigation.
So 13?
13. Okay. Roll again. We're gonna say Sack is also providing the help action.
Okay.
Can I just roll?
Sure.
Mine's,
Yeah, roll the 20.
Yeah, if you
mine
want
will
to.
be, yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Between the two of you, you guys kind of figure out where you need to go. You eventually enter into this somewhat of a clearing area. And can tell ahead that it's continuing to get worse. The only path forward seems to be blocked with this growing red corruption. It would have to take you further into the trees to try and avoid it, but the trees are heavily corrupted, even to the southern part that's not depicted. Basically, at this point, there's like one way through, and the question is whether or not you can avoid it or not.
So like they're like obscuring the way forward, basically the corrupted trees.
Yeah, the vine kind of seems to be all over the ground.
So we have to go through it. It's a matter of are we going to be able to roll to see if
Pretty much.
we avoid any? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a watch where you step, watch where you step, watch where you step. We're gonna do this turn based. Everyone all at once. I'm not gonna like make us jump into initiative or anything for it. You move up to your distance within a single round, right? We're not taking the quote unquote dash action here. It's like if you can move 30 feet, move 30 feet. And then place yourself where you think you want to be, and then we'll have you roll just a dex check.
Okay. Tinka's definitely not leading the way.
I think Sack will go out front with Landon.
Finwick.
I'm also trying to think, how do I use I need to read through how I can use this, but I'm gonna try and use it.
Ooh.
Okay. Basically, you just I think we're calling it a bonus action. You just speak a command word, and then the whole area starts to light up. 60 feet.
Yeah, I think that'll just be helpful in general, given that we're going into at least like this area.
Basically, this entire map, except for the most upper parts. Cool. Yeah. Are you doing the daylight spell or the light spell?
I don't know the difference. I need to look into it.
I'm also looking it up.
I think
60-foot
daylight's just
radius
more
in daylight,
powerful.
20-foot radius in light. So yeah, if you want the more powerful one, it's daylight. How bright do you want this?
Let's go the moderate bright, not the super bright.
Okay, so it's 20.
More of like a torch for the area rather than trying to be like a spotlight everywhere.
Gotcha. Yeah, so about 20 feet from you in bright light, and then another 20 feet in dim light. Yeah, it does act in that case like a slightly brighter torch, right? The whole thing becomes lit, and when you light it up, you begin to hear creaking from the trees, just like almost like they're trying to wince away.
Does it help with anything on the ground that we can notice?
Make for me an investigation. You still see the red, but it seems to have dimmed a bit. It's not quite as bright.
Okay. Looks like it might be a little easier to traverse, but we're still gonna need to watch our steps. Good call with that item there, that spell.
So now what I'm gonna need is a round of dex checks from everybody. You get it at advantage because of that usage.
Oh, cool.
Is this
And also
just
everybody gets a
straight?
+4 because of my paladin ability.
Sick.
At advantage +4. Okay.
Jesus.
I'm just
Oh,
gonna
sorry,
take
I
that.
did acrobatics
Yeah, that's
instead
fine.
of dex, but it's still a +2. So
Or
Yeah,
well,
we're doing
check,
good.
not save.
Yeah,
Sorry.
dex check. I mean,
Oh.
either way. This is whatever your.
Oh, wait, so then if it's not a save, people won't get the +4 if it's just check.
That's fine.
I only get it on saves.
mine's still a save, or I just pressed the wrong thing, but it's still a +2 for me. Anyway,
Okay.
So
Cool. Yeah, this all around seems like where you've chosen to step, especially in light of the light. Everything seems okay. Go ahead and move again.
Still at advantage.
First move where you think you would go. Yeah, I think you would also kind of come in this direction. You already moved, Tinka? And I just missed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did, but I moved first, so I didn't know where everyone else was going.
Cool. Cool. You guys move over in this direction. Do another round of dex checks for everybody.
Oh wait, this is advantage.
Yeah, it is at advantage. Yeah.
Ah, it doesn't help.
Oh no.
Timothy, when you step down, you begin to hear creaking behind you. And you notice a figure kind of step from the trees. It's a little bit hunched over, and you hear that creaking sound as it's moving. It opens its mouth, what you can barely begin to kind of see as a mouth, and lets out a louder creaking sound and kind of like a clicking.
Can I have 6 seconds to like yell something to the group?
Yep.
The trees are like a network. I think it knows it. I think it knows we're here.
Do we fight it or do we run?
Do we leave him here?
Yeah. How do we get out of this without dying?
Can I cast Frostbite on the one that's either holding him or moving towards him?
Sure. It's this one.
It's a DC save.
Okay, give me 1 second. Rolled a 19.
Well, fuck. Now it's just a little cold.
Yeah, I'm going to. So, you guys remember the mechanic, which is you can all choose to run, but it may have adverse effects later.
I'm not gonna leave him here, I don't think.
You want to fight him?
Well, it's up to you guys, but I think so.
I mean, are we all gonna get an action, or should we roll initiative if we're
If
staying?
you guys are staying, we'll kick off with initiative.
Yeah, like these look like corrupted something or others, I presume, right? Like
Yeah, I'll give
Like-
you a quick
like-
glance of what they look like.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
there's
like
two.
Leon wants to fight these for sure, yo.
Yeah, Himbo wants to fight as well.
Cool. Then here's what we're gonna do. We're 10 minutes until the end of session. So instead of starting a battle, I'm gonna say we'll pick up next session with rolling initiative. And end the session
Okey-doke.
here. Start with a combat next session. Yes, you see these twisted, grotesque pieces of vine, and some of them look more like conifer a little bit in nature and have like needles growing from their backs. They are seemingly plant-oriented beings, but they are communicating and clicking as if talking to each other. And then from one of the trees emerges this guy.
Oh no.
And we'll pick up there next session.
Oh.
wait, what guy? What?
I think you might have specifically warned me about this. I think you hinted at it, and I was like, Last of Us, like it'll be fine.
Oh, he's big. Okay.
He a big boy. He a big boy. Yeah, this whole tree seems to come to life. The tendrils on the ground. It starts to move. It's not even like moving forward. You just notice as this clicking sounds go off that it like opens its eyes. Corrupted int figure.
Fun.
So, does the rest of the party have the knowledge of this? Of like, if you keep fighting, do they just keep coming? Or
I don't think anyone knows. No one's fought anything like this before.
okay,
Yeah, no,
okay,
I don't think I was specifically revealed to Timothy.
got it. Okay,
And Timothy still didn't fight anything, right? It was mostly just kind of like what you guys encountered as you were making your way on a different continent.
And I think I
Rather
heard
similar
something
stuff.
about it being like it being like connected like a network and to
Yeah.
not touch it. But that was about the
Yeah.
extent of what I knew.
Right. Yeah, which I think they
You're
reiterated
the one
to
that
all
messed
of you.
it up.
Yeah. Right. And then you step on it anyway.
Well, I tried to, but I misstepped, and
And here we are.
like I told you during the one shot, Himbo's not a sneaky boy.
And not a sneaky boy, not a very dexterous boy.
No,
Not like Gil.
no,
Should've Gil.
Gil's nimble.
Anyway, we'll pick up there next time with some fighty fights. Good first session back though,
Yo.
guys.
Yeah, it was fun.
2 weeks for that one.
2 weeks, yep. We go back to our
Cool,
2 week
cool.
schedule. With that, we'll see you guys next time.